Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you happen to be in the world. Welcome to tradertv.live. After multiple record-setting performances last week, North American stock futures slightly lower to kick off the new trading week this morning. Good morning. We were nicely higher to end on Friday. If you remember, the Dow up about 300 points, leading the market overall. The S&P 500 ended the day up about 1%. The NASDAQ was also nicely higher, up about 3% as well, as we saw more investors and traders move back into some of the big name tech stocks. Apple, Facebook, Microsoft, all higher. Speaking of Microsoft this morning, a little bit of news out over the weekend as far as acquisition, possible deal coming for them. We'll talk about that coming up. Busy week ahead as well, with earnings set to kick off. The big banks will get things going. We have Goldman and JP Morgan coming up this week. It's also Coinbase week on Wednesday. It will make its debut through direct listing coming up on Wednesday. So something to look forward to. Microsoft as well. Again, some merger news possibly over the weekend. We'll talk about that. And Alibaba sharply higher here in the pre-market after shrugging off $2.8 billion antitrust fine from Chinese regulators. It's Monday, April 12th, 2021. TraderTV.live starts now. And there we go. Yeah, red numbers, unfortunately, to kick off the new trading week here. You can see the S&P, the Dow, the NASDAQ, all to the downside. TSX futures here in Toronto, 0.2%. Not huge moves, but we are negative. Brazil's open, trading higher with Bitcoin. Yeah, back above 60,000 this morning, 3.4%. Crude oil higher this morning, and gold to the downside ever so slightly, 0.4%. Good morning, guys. It is a brand new week. Lots to get through this morning. I mean, we can talk about Alibaba. We can talk about Microsoft. There's a number of individual names. We have Afria reporting earnings this morning. Surprise loss for Afria despite the merger news.
Yeah, not looking good for them. You mentioned the Microsoft news. Actually, worth noting, and good morning, everybody, that NUAN Nuance is actually halted right now. So the confirmation of that deal looks like it's probably going to be coming through. I can't think of another reason why it would have been halted. So there's a wealth of news to get to. I want to say a special shout out to J.R. Rahm, Tony Finau. I think it's a Hovland. I don't even know the guy's first name, and Morikawa. I'm pretty sure by Brendan's math, I took it down the pool, but not exactly confirmed. They came down to the wire, certainly pretty close. And of course, Matsuyama, congratulations for winning. That's not what I'm concerned about here. So much to get to. It's going to be a big time week, not just because we have Coinbase coming through later on, but you have the big banks. I think that's going to be a strong set of earnings to come through to move the markets for sure. And then you have some continuation plays for some of these movers that have been going rather nicely. Going to be a busy one here, Sean.
I mean, that's going to be a great buyout too. Hopefully, NUAN.
Huge.
Yeah, they're at $56 per share. I mean, it's like Brendan. Do you want to go to Brendan?
Sure, I can show it here. Yeah, it looks like it's done, guys. This is just right now, 831.36 coming through here. It is 19.7 billion, all cash, and yeah, $56 per share. So Microsoft taking, picking up Nuance, guys. So $19.7 billion deal here.
So it's not. I mean, like Neil just mentioned there, it's not open right now. But I mean, this is just spreading their wings again. Like Nuance is just another one there. Cloud strategy, healthcare, everything. So I mean, Microsoft just gets bigger and badder as the day goes on here. Not open. I'm assuming now that it's announced it will. And look, whether or not the shareholders like this deal, we'll have to find out. 0.18 right now. We saw AMD. So when AMD was looking to buy Xilinx, I mean, there's different antitrust. I guess this one's approved. I don't know if there's going to be any issues in this, but you can see AMD has. Let's just zoom out a little bit here. If we can. Maybe that's a little bit too much. Did struggle a little bit off some of that deal there with Xilinx. It just failed to get going. Made some bottoms there and an all-cash deal as well for Xilinx. So we'll wait to see here what Microsoft does and what they have in store for their shareholders with this deal. I mean, Microsoft's already broken out. We've talked about that. I think the more space they get into, the better it is for them. I mean, spread their wings, basically, is what I was trying to say. You get Azure there with the cloud. Now they get into Nuance with healthcare. I just, I think this is going to be a big move for them. We'll see. I don't know. I wrote down on the sticky note here, watch out for this 256. That's where we were on Friday. That's where we were this morning. And right now we're at 255.50. But we may leave Microsoft alone until we just see the reaction that it has on the share price. I mean, it's not that 19 billion is very much cash, but it's a hit, and they have to make sure that there's some synergies there.
A lot of times it's like usually a decent opportunity if you're patient, if it's a good deal, and I think this is a good one here for them, to wait around on any weakness. And of course, Nuance is not going to move too much. Might have a look at it today, see how it reacts to that $56 price. It's worth keeping in mind. I mean, a cash deal from Microsoft or higher bid's going to come through from whom? Right? I mean, you got one of the biggest players. You got the biggest players out there. Now, interestingly enough, Nuance partnered with series development. So some of the key technology for that, speech recognition, came through them. So this is a great pickup. For Microsoft. I'm liking it. I don't know that you're going to get a ton of weakness, but I mean, if there is a sell-off, you might look for some bottom picks this week on Microsoft.
Yeah, it should be interesting here once we get Nuance back open and trading. I'll let you know as soon as I see anything on that. But breaking news to kick off a Monday morning show. Before we get any further, let's get over to the desk and say good morning to Miss V.
Good morning, Brandon, and happy Monday, traders. Let's have a great start of this trading week. Please enjoy the show and make sure to like this video and subscribe to our channel. Let's get it started, Brandon.
Yeah, let's get it started, guys. We'll have a look at, again, Microsoft Nuance. That's a big number, but Sean, I maybe give your thoughts here. 19.7 billion. Not a huge deal. They're saying it looks like it won't be accredited until 2023, so Q1 2023.
I mean, I'm just guessing that's why it's not moving that much, the needle too much here. But again, just sitting down here, it's a relatively new story. So to break it down, I don't claim to know that much about Nuance or anything like that. So we'll just wait to see, where it comes into play. What I would just say for day traders today is we don't know. You've seen deals where we thought deals were great and then they went the other way. Look at CRM, right? You have Salesforce when they bought Slack here. Well, if the chart will load, we'll be able to see when that happened. Here, bang to the downside when that started happening. I think that was back probably. I think it was earlier than February, but you did have some negative moves to the downside. It does, dip away at the cash reserves. But like Neil said, Microsoft's such a big boy that I don't know if it's really going to matter so much for them. We'll just wait to see. I mean, this CRM got hit, AMD got hit on some of the more recent values or deals, and then you have other companies that just don't get hit on buyouts. So we'll wait to see what happens. The market doesn't seem to care too much about this deal. I mean, I'm surprised it's not moving at all. So I really don't have too much of a difference. I would like to take this 256 break just because Microsoft's breaking out. We've already talked about that. We've hit Microsoft the last couple of days. It's been absolutely fantastic. So, I mean, I like the deal because it's an all-cash deal. It doesn't dilute shares. They're not giving out more shares. They're not doing anything crazy. So, you know what? Cash, we can look. I mean, I'm not sure how much cash Microsoft has on, but I don't think 19 billion seems to me like it's just a drop in the bucket for them. So we'll see their cash position, but for right now, I'm excited for Microsoft. And then if you look at Nuance, it basically makes the stock not tradable unless you're going to market make it because it's just going to trade within a level, right? If 56 is the dollar, Neil could talk about this, but if that's the buyout, Neil, then we look for it to trade a little lower than 56, and then we're going to find out a closing date.
Yeah, for those of you that look at a momentum trade, you're basically hoping that something crazy happens and maybe it drops to like the 55 range or like 54 high, something along those lines. That's what you're probably hoping for. And the other end, which has been true of certain deals, and I might talk about like Glue when they got purchased by EA, where you get some speculation that there'll be a higher bid and you get some crazy call, I shouldn't say crazy call buying, you get some heavy call buying that comes through and then you start trading above the deal price and it pushes up. So is that impossible? I mean, I guess it could happen. This is usually not the type of deal where I think that it could. So maybe it does open up and give you like strong longs off 56 that you can scalp. More likely that the best trades, if you're not market making, are going to be hoping for a bit of a dip and then patiently waiting for a bottom. I don't know how heavy the profit taking is going to come here. It's always worth thinking time value of money. This deal, because it's large, could take some time for it to close, and that's one of the things that could possibly push it down a little bit. But all systems seem like it's going to open up. I mean, it closed trading right at that 56 price, and I wouldn't be too shocked to see it basically sit in that range all day long, guys.
All right, I don't see a resume time yet, but we'll let you know as soon as we get Nuance back open again. Let's talk about BlackBerry here. A little bit of a headline coming out this morning. We'll take a look at the chart. It did pop up when this did come out here. Not a huge move, but about $9 up to $9.50. We're right back down again. The government of Canada selecting BlackBerry for secure productivity and secure communication services. There's not a lot of detail in what this actually means or what they're going to provide for the government of Canada or how long this agreement will even last, but it seems like this should be a big deal, guys.
It's hard to say without further detail. I mean, obviously, look, it can't be a bad thing, I suppose. Not really seeing, like you said, you're not really seeing too much action off of this. The one thing I'll say for BlackBerry here is it showed at least a surprising pep in their step post those earnings, managing to hold above like $9. So I actually thought it would be a little bit weaker than they were post earnings, and it does feel like you had that flush out in base. I'd love to see further details, like you said, but you look at this 890 to 9 even area, which is holding, possibly gives you a little bit of cover if you're into this, thinking this is going to move the needle somewhat. But I mean, you've done 100,000 shares in the pre-market. And if I can't see some numbers, then it's hard for me to say, okay, let's go in and buy BlackBerry off $9. I mean, there's no one really seemingly heavily interested in this one pre-market, which BlackBerry has been a meme stock before. So I kind of felt like it would be obvious if you're moving the needle. There would be some volume, there'd be some traders picking up on this one, and you're just not seeing it today, which is a bit of a red flag for a stock which has been somewhat volatile and has given some of those day trading opportunities. To not see the volume in today is a bit of a I guess pass for me on BlackBerry, even if you do like that shelf at 890.
And then shout out to Mito there on the chat, because on Friday when Bitcoin was 50, I mean, where was it? 58, 50. I mean, Friday on the show, we were about 58, 59. I said we would crack through 60 this weekend. We did that. Thanks for remembering. Yeah, we cracked through 61. We had Ripple, XRP, ripped to $1.40 US and still hovering around there. So yeah, thank you for remembering that. But crypto today, up and away. We're over 60,000. I would say we see 70 before we see 55 again. So 10 up before 5 down. That's what I think. We'll wait to see if that does come through. You're noticing the big baddest man around, Cardano, 131 right now, and still ripping up. So you can see this bad boy just keeps on ticking near new highs again. Cardano right now ripping to the upside. And then if you wanted to look at really the baddest one all weekend here, what the hell? I mean, I even tweeted this out when I was sitting down watching Miss Doubtfire with the kids. I said, what is going on here with Ripple? I mean, it just took off completely up to 137, 138, 150 was the high there. I don't know if that was yesterday or just this morning. That's April 10th here. I was on a one-day chart. So up to 150 there on the 10th. So I have no idea, but you can see right now, well, I mean, there's ideas, but you can't really slow down this crypto push. Dogecoin also nearing 10 cents, 10 cents right now. So Brendan, all is well in crypto land, it appears, as long as you're long.
Yeah, it's interesting to see there's a lot of individual stocks related to, or the traditional ones that we like to look at. I mean, SI is higher this morning. MicroStrategy is slightly higher this morning. But SOS lagging a little bit. So yes, cryptos are moving, but some of the actual equities that typically follow it lacking so far. So we'll keep an eye on that as we go on here this morning. I want to mention Beyond Meat. Interesting story this morning on Beyond Meat. There's not a lot of volume happening here in the pre-market, but we are higher. They're expanding into a few more countries in Europe, as well as more retail chains in the UK. So a lot more stores right across the entire UK plus Europe sector, guys.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know. There's a lot of names here that are on our watch list this morning that just aren't really, I mean, BlackBerry was another one right there that you brought to our attention, not really doing too much volume. Even Microsoft's not doing too much volume compared to what we see. And then, I mean, the NASDAQ's only up 0.24, but I've been look, I mean, I've been saying I've liked Beyond Meat here for a long time. I keep making fun of the fact that I like the beef. The wife likes the Beyond Meat. But she has something called Dr. Prager's from Costco as well. She likes those. But right now we are basing out, and this is a good spot. I mean, if you like the stock, you can wait, until, if you believe there's some sort of a crash coming in the market. I do not. But down to 120, I mean, that would be good. But if you like it at 120 and you're playing Beyond Meat, I don't think you're playing this for too much of a scalp. I think there is a chance that we get to 150, at least to this 50 period, and then above. Looking at this area seems to be about right. Everything has to work for us to get back to these levels, I believe. But, with deals in Walmart, deals in Costco, deals with Yum Brands, deals with McDonald's now, more stuff happening today, as you were mentioning there, Brendan. I think Beyond Meat can get going. So, to me, it's a buy down here. I don't know if it's a screaming one, but it's definitely a buy. And then today, I mean, it's just sleepy times. But we did touch 133 on Friday. So if you are going to look at any levels, I guess it would be this 133 break on that Beyond Meat news. But as I looked at it, it was, just more retail availabilities in the UK, across Europe, Austria, Switzerland, Netherlands. So just more expansion for Beyond Meat. I think the story is in the name. It has the first mover advantage. So if you like the space and you like the food space and you're kind of one of those environmental push kind of, go for Beyond Meat, I think.
Yeah, I mean, I actually think you could you play two ways. Like you could say you could wait for a breakout. I mean, you could wait for a dip, but you could also wait for it to break 140 again and then maybe make that run to the upside. There it is with nuance. So yeah, we are going to get to see it open before the open for the open. 855 for those that are tracking it. I mean, again, if it moves, we'll let you guys know, but I'm not sure there's going to be anything too crazy here. And I'm with you, Sean. Beyond Meat, that's very light volume. And I was noticing that sort of across the board, even with some of the small cap names that I was looking at. The volumes aren't quite as big this morning as I maybe would have anticipated.
All right, that's 8:55 just popping up there, guys. So NUAN set to resume once again, coming up at 8:55. So earnings, we get started this week. We had Afria this morning. They reported a surprise loss versus last quarter's profits. There's also the merger. We can talk about that. Afria, again, really not doing a heck of a lot here. It is down in the pre-market. But the big banks, guys, we are seeing a little bit of strength early on this morning in some of the banks. JP Morgan, Goldman also higher. They are coming on Wednesday.
Yeah. Go ahead. Yeah, I was just going to talk about the weed names. Do you want to take the banks or?
Yeah, no, sure. I mean, everyone's talking about I mean, look, you're not. I don't think you're going to see very many pessimistic, outlooks for the banks and with the earnings that come this week. And I'm looking at BAC, which is actually flat right now, and some saying this daily chart only going back to October. Let's go show you this 15 minutes so you can get an idea of what BAC's been doing going into the wealth of bank earnings. And if you're going to get one of those up days, I mean, you got to stare at like a 40-20, which has been sitting here on this stock basically all last week. You've had the same top, not 420, 40-20 here at the top on BAC. And that's why I bring this one upside. You can look at any of them looking very, very strong, and talk about the fact that clearly they didn't perform well. Everyone knows that if you relatively speaking through last year, but this is a different story now. And with the strength in the economy, 6.5% GDP they're talking about this year, massive growth. Of course, it came from a long way away. You just had Powell on 60 Minutes reiterating his confidence in the markets and the fact that rates are somewhat going to stay where they are, which will help the market out. I just really think you're going to get some breakouts in some of these banks, and BAC through that 40-20 does sort of stick out just because I look at this level multiple days in a row. It's hard not to take that break.
Yeah, BAC. I mean, BAC is a good break. All those banks, I think, will have big quarters here, moving up. I mean, trading's been excellent, especially those trading sides, Goldman Sachs, Morgan Stanley, things like that tend to do better on trading rather than money center banks. Okay, Afria, look, I mean, we keep hitting the weed Batman here today, but not a good number, man. I mean, I'm invested in these names. I just keep trying to get out every time they pop up. And today is not one of those days. You're going to have to wait it out again on Afria. Look, net, like their revenue's higher, but profits lower. So they come in at negative 15 cents. I think the street, I mean, they were expecting a profit here for this company. They had a big quarter last quarter, so very, very depressing. And then now they're sort of blaming, apparently, I don't know. I mean, they're blaming the lockdown. Here in Canada, we'll have a lot rougher time than a lot of the other countries, I feel, with our lockdown rules. And we're like at the most cases we've had now in Toronto. So whether or not Africa can blame that or not, who knows? I mean, I thought the lockdown probably would be pretty good for marijuana sales. I mean, you're locked out, Netflix and chill. I'm not sure what else you're doing. But there we go, down to $12. I mean, look. The economy needs to reopen, I guess, if this is going to go. There's so many retail spaces here, at least I can only speak for Ontario because I see them every day on my drive home. There's like a new weed shop popping up all over the place. So I think demand is there, but definitely it's not hitting the bottom line here for Africa. So I look for it to come down to this 12 area, like 12 bottom, 12 to 14. You have some consolidation in here. This, I mean, it could hold. I'm looking for it to hold. I'm looking for it to hold 1450 here. So if we can get back down to 1450, which we've already been at today and held, it just looks great on the daily. It's right here. So if I could draw a line, like it's pretty obvious for this. So there you go. So yeah, 1450, even maybe a bit lower. Use 14 as the very bottom, but I think you get long into 1450 here. And then on the upside, I mean, 7% seems like it's too much. The numbers don't seem that bad. And I just think it's been crushed, like easily crushed. So we don't get back to the 50 period moving average here. But if we do take out, like, I mean, just breaking anything is fine. Like if you could break this 1525, I think it's a long. And then I think we can test 16. So I would say you play this from 1450 up to 16. So there's $1.50 of range there. We see what happens, but I do like a 1525 break. But it's only 850, man. I mean, anything can happen in the next 40 minutes. But for now, I like an Africa break of 15.25.
All right, let's go to upgrades and downgrades for today. Yeah, some big names on here. There's Microsoft. It is basically flat on the session so far, but BMO giving it a thumbs up today. Starbucks on here as well. Also pretty much flat on the session. Yum Brands, Biogen, AstraZeneca, GameStop getting a downgrade today. Oxy and Plug Power. I noticed Plug was down about 3% early on, guys.
Yeah, Plug's getting close to this like 30 even price again here, and you just on the daily chart you can sort of see, back into that March 25th bottom. Let's zoom it in so you can see a little bit better. But back into that March bottom at 30 even. You did have that support, and this was like a huge ramp up, just at the beginning of the year of that price. So that's a key hold for Plug. We're not there yet. We're like $1.50 above it, and we're only down 2.5% going into this. But you got to look for that 30. I think sort of the same way you were just talking, Sean, there about Africa getting to that that 14.5 level or 14.5, 14 quarters, somewhere around that range. Either way, it looks so key that if it does make a consolidation or a bounce off that price, it's hard not to look at it. Plug's going to be very similar at that $30 range, and if it breaks down through, it gets like quarter to half a buck below there, you might start thinking about like a tiny flush down. But there was some chop in around 25, 26. So it's not necessarily like the floodgates would open up, but I'd like to see Plug round off that 30 area maybe sometime this week. I mean, I don't know if we're going to drop $1.50 today, but if we do, I'll be watching 30 for sure.
Okay, so something that's not on our list. Okay, so Microsoft already, guys, starting to go here. So we've missed it. We talked about 256. We wanted that. We wanted the market to open up, but unfortunately the NASDAQ just started going. And what we mean by the market, I mean, we just mean nuance. That's going to open up apparently in a couple minutes. So we'll find out about that. But it looks like they like the deal. So you guys asked us if they did, and there it is. They're punching it in the face. Bang. They like that nuance deal today, 256. So again, look at Softy. I'm so impressed with this stock. I haven't sold a damn piece of this thing at all. And we just continue to go higher. So look, I mean, I was talking with Rob here about putting money into big portfolios and big names and things like that. And if you just keep on buying the best, I only think good things can happen. I mean, the market could go down, sure, have some cash left. But as far as Microsoft is concerned, man, I mean, just keep putting more powder into that thing and watch it tick, tick, boom. You want to see something that's going to boom. I mean, here's Palantir, man. I mean, this has been a nice stock in the last week, finally. I can't believe we're finally saying that. We talked about getting Palantir getting thrown out with the bathwater here. Deservedly so, I think. It's a high value name, a high growth name, not as much value. I believe it's more of a value stock that it should be valued as that. It doesn't need to have those crazy multiples on it, which I think it was getting back here. The last time they had demo day was right in here. It went to all-time highs. It just coincided with, matter of fluke for Palantir. It coincided with GameStop and Rocket and AMC and everything. So that's why you did get a pump, because everybody was looking, hey, what's the next Rocket? What's the next GameStop? I guess it was GameStop. Rocket was the next one, but what's the next AMC, GameStop, Bed Bath & Beyond, BlackBerry? But people put their money into Palantir. But this also coincided with demo days. So it's coming on the 16th. We'll talk about that throughout the whole week. But right now, Palantir is breaking out. I mean, our last buy was 21.87. Put that on Twitter, tweeted that out, talked about it every day on here. Now you're up to 25. So that's a 20x% increase from that level. So 24.80. It looks like we're breaking out on Palantir. I mean, I like every level that we see. I wrote down here on the sticky note, as you guys can see, I think it's right at the bottom there. 20, I don't know if you can see it, 23.75. Will it hold? And then will 25 be the breakout that we all want it to be? So if you look at the chart here, you can go back down. 23.25 is right here. This is 23.80, but you know, the point is that it was the highs back on the 31st, and then we danced around there before tanking the day after, and then we danced around here, ripped, broke it, and haven't really broken it back to the upside until Friday. And that's when we were watching, and we're like, what the? This is where I wanted to get long, down here in this area to have some protection, but it just took off on Friday, kept going upside, stopped about midday, and then chilled out, and now today you get that bump again. So the high that we look for is 24.50, so we'll see if we can defend that. We'll have to see what happens when the market opens. But I'm loving Palantir into demo day, and I mean, I just think we do take out, we've talked about this, we just have to take out this 29. The minute this 29 gets breached to the upside, then I think we revisit mid-30s. So I don't know if you guys can rewind the clock, but if you do hit it, I mean, I talked about it last week, talking about picking up some Palantir options, and I'm pretty sure you'd be happy with a 20% increase in just under a week.
All right. Also coming up this week, a couple of people asking about that too simple coming up this week. NASDAQ here has this IPO on the 15th. So 04-15-21, guys. Yeah, it's over $1 billion. Too Simple Holdings is another autonomous play. So a heads up on that. That'll be coming on the 15th. Funny story here, if we have a look at my screen. It's coming to market at 4,260 times last year's sale. That's the valuation they're looking at currently for Too Simple. So we'll talk about that coming up on the 16th of this week. Let's have a look at what's coming, or what is moving around, I should say, in the pre-market this morning. Guys, if you haven't done so already, make sure you head over to that link and register for the absolutely free to you watch list. We send it out every single morning before we come on at 8:30. If you need that, again, Miss B will be nice and help you out in the chat with that. We mentioned Microsoft, obviously the deal done with Nuance. Guys, is there a trade when it comes to Microsoft?
I think so. Look, I know, Shauna, certainly that breakout and whether or not you wanted to have it. Nuance not open yet, which, I don't know, they said 8:55. I guess it's not there yet. I did like a pullback. Clearly, when we moved upside without the resumption of trading, that might have changed some prices here for me. I would have definitely taken, and I sort of wrote down here like a 252-ish area on Microsoft. I guess we're not going to get that. Sometimes you will see with a cash deal that there is a little bit of not dumping, but at least selling off of the open here. It's not like we said, it's maybe a drop in the bucket for how big Microsoft is, but a lot of times that's the playbook. I got to look now back at that 255. It's pretty much going to be as simple as that. I would have really, really loved to see us dip down anywhere close to 252 to defend, but you got to start thinking about 54, 55. That's going to be the afternoon sort of consolidation. You had a couple of days at the top at 54 on Microsoft, and you know, it's just one of those. I go back to the playbook and sort of looking at M&A and buyout deals all the time, and on that first day, there's usually, and this could be different because it is Microsoft, but there's usually a solid opportunity in and around like that first hour or so, if you do get initial sell-off, to pick a bit of a bottom, at least temporarily on the acquirer. So that's what I'm going to be looking for, particularly on Microsoft. And you might see me dip in and out of that Nuance if I can make some spread or get a big move. If that happens to break well below 56, for sure I'll be picking it up somewhere.
Yeah, I mean, I found their cash position as of October 2020 was 74 billion. So yeah, so them to spend, and that was as of 2020. That was October 2020. So we'll probably be able to find. So that means they're probably near 80 or 90 billion cash just sitting in cash. So now they get to throw it over to Nuance. And like I said, we'll just wait to see what they think about this deal. I think it's worth buying a little bit. We'll retest some 255.50s or so, but we're going to get into very light. If you see me get into Microsoft, it'll be light. We'll wait to see. I mean, we just got to wait to see when this thing opens up. But I guess when it opens up, it doesn't even matter because, the deal's done. We'll just wait to see. I mean, I'm going to try to defend if we do get going. You asked if there's a trade here, Brendan. I think it's just holding anything that happens back into this area, 253.50. Like that to me would be a sign of, okay, maybe we are going to break down a little bit. We bounced off there on Friday. We sort of started getting going there on Friday as well. I don't think we'd come down to that level that Neil was talking about. But again, with the deal, we have no idea. So I'm going to slowly get into a long here on Softy in this area. You'll see it pop in, 255.50, 255 or so, 254, and then we'll see what happens at that 253 area. But definitely, this is not a stock that we get out the big stick for right now. We'll just see what happens with Microsoft. To me, that's a lot more important than actually making the trade. This may be a no trade today until we just let it settle down. That's my advice to everybody. But with that being said, I'm getting ready to go long, and there we are. We are now long, 255.52. So maybe we'll take 20 cents quickly on this one, but the spread is 20 cents.
All right, did resume there, guys. Nuance. So we are trading once again. Seems to be holding that 55.50 area. 22% to the upside here for NUAN. Yeah, it was 8:55 was quote time, and then the resumption was right at 9 o'clock there. Let's bring in Arun and have a look at the overall market. Check out the futures for this morning. We are trying to hold some levels here, Arun. Good morning. In negative territory, but what do we think overall about this week, I guess? Don't think we have any volume for Arun. Guys, are they hearing him? Yeah, we'll try and get back to Arun there. Sorry about that, guys. We'll fix that audio issue and come back with Arun as soon as we can. Let's continue along as far as what is moving around in the pre-market here. We'll talk about Alibaba. Yeah, this fine that has been discussed and talked about going back about a month ago from Chinese regulators as far as antitrust is concerned comes out over the weekend of all time. So what was it, 2.8 billion, or the equivalent of $2.8 billion fine, which they kind of say, oh, ho-hum to, and let's move on. Sean.
Okay, first of all, Microsoft cash cow, that's a 50-cent win right now. We just got filled at 256.20. So bang and bang. Like, you're not going to believe. Like, I got this fill as we were, I told you where I was bidding, 255.50. We just get fluky there and take a nice little win off that one. And then we did get in and out of Nuance. I did test it thinking that maybe it was going higher, but instead it was going lower. So NUAN right now to the low side. And Microsoft just continues, man. What a good trade that was. I got a smile on my face to start the day with this one. So a good trade there. Okay, Alibaba. Yeah, look, such a small, we talked about this off the open. Such a small penalty for such a monster company. I'm as happy as a pig in. Oh yeah, we talked about this on Friday. I was supposed to not say a pig in mud. Let's use that one. That's what we were talking about here. As an Alibaba shareholder, finally we can sort of move on from this. I'm hoping, anyways. Microsoft's still 50 cents in the money. Hopefully we can move on from this play. Alibaba's been beat down for a very, very long time. It all started up here. Then they kidnapped Jack Ma, or did they? Nobody knows. Then he was found in a street all beat up. No, he wasn't. I think he was found on a golf course, actually, Brendan. So I don't know if he was with you or not. But Jack Ma right there found. And then we've based out, man. I mean, the CCP is a dangerous deal. So you got to watch out. But it looks like now, hopefully they've washed their hands with it. Go Microsoft right now, cooking up some profits. We'll bring that up in a minute. But right now, 227. We're well off that. We've been buyers all the way through. I have bought some Alibaba in this area. I think it's breakout central for Alibaba. 243 is coming. I wrote down on the sheet here that we did like 238 on Alibaba. So it's on. We've already tweeted this out. I'll put the link up. Maybe Valeria can get that link up as well. But we do have our, just to my Twitter is fine, this level. So we're looking at 238 on Alibaba. It's bounced off there a bunch of times. We like that. 240 is just as good, man. Play the even dollars. Let's check in on the imbalance locator. AT. I don't know what that is. But there's Alibaba. Okay, here we go. Making me happy now. Two positions that I own. GE, Alibaba. Oh, I own GE, sorry. Baba, Palantir, GE all on there. Also own J&J. Also own Ford. Okay, I own way too many stocks on this list. Do not own Pfizer. And wanted to get into Nike at 125, but we didn't. So... yeah, no, I should have bought there. And then look at this, though. This is the big one for me right now. As Microsoft, we catch that very, very lucky bottom. But hey, if you're not sitting there, then you don't get it. So that was a good trade for me. Now trying to take out the high. But right now we're only in one position. That's softy. I do like a Baba break, man. Any level, let's go long Alibaba.
I mean, I like Alibaba, but I think there's going to be an interesting opportunity to get a bit of a dip here. And I'm going to start trading this NUAN. I just got a couple of longs in there. First off 50, it held in off of like 35, but if it comes all the way down to 55 even, I'm going to maybe dig into this one, see what happens off that open. They're starting to sell it a little bit, but bids are coming in. I like 235 on a dip on Alibaba in particular, but NUAN, volume starting to go.
All right, guys, we're going to try and connect with Arun here again and see if we have some volume this time. Hi, Arun. How was your weekend? We still have no volume, so we'll continue to work on that, guys, and see if we can't connect with Arun a little bit later on. Let's continue on here. Uber Technologies back to the upside this morning. Big March, to say the least, for Uber, guys. Basically, record numbers for Uber right across the board for March.
Yeah, Uber's been, look, and we've talked about this with Mark when he's been on here, but there's been like this, and Lyft has done fantastic, and maybe that's because of their focused business and not as much exposure to the to Europe and to the UK and other sides of their business, which have or haven't been going very, very well with Uber Eats and not necessarily making money. But I like the recovery name. And I like the fact that we're actually trying to break off this 59. That's the level I wrote down here. So there is a 60 break looming. We already went up here on that new 60 to 50. But 59, I think, is the price to defend here. I'm going to pick this one up off the bid at 59. I think you can take a 60-50 break. But at least right now, looking at 59.50 current price, I think you're fading into that move to the top here on Uber. And just to get this one going here, it has been bouncing out to 50 period. It has been trying to make some pushes towards those highs, and hopefully this is a bit of a catalyst that gets it there. So it's lagged lift, and here's 55 in the bid. Wow, they're selling this off pretty heavily on nuance. I'm gonna have to wait here because this is 54.50. There's lots of room for this to come off, and time value money matters, but it's a 56 cash deal. No one else is coming in to pick this one up. There could be regulatory issues, of course. Keep that in mind.
Yep. Microsoft ripping to the high side still. We just took $1 clean on that one. So that was good, although I feel a little lucky. And I just tweeted it out, guys, and I think that that's very, very important that you sort of just understand here what's happening. Let's get to 17.5 today, maybe. Every day it seems like we're bumping up a little bit here. But this is the thing. Seems to have been a lucky fill heel, but I'll take it, right? You gotta, I mean, sometimes we get those. And then this is the thing. I'm always fishing at even levels on names I like, right? And I mean, I talked about having a bid there. I also have more bids. I have bids at 255. Even if it would have gone down there, we would have been there. But there's a nice little trade on Softy. And Neil's going to be watching Nuance throughout the day. So if there's anything coming through on that one, Martin, he'll be, well, he's already discussing it. So he's going to be market making. You'll watch that. Through 55 is going to be a good one. I don't even remember. Oh, it was Uber. I like Uber. That's the other thing. It was on my list today. I think it's a great reopen trade. I have it marked down here as 61 as the level. So put that. That's, again, you just follow me on Twitter. You will find the sticky note, or maybe even on Instagram as well today. 61. Here's the 20-period chart on it. You know, we're looking at 60. We've already broken through 59, 50. Actually, 61 is more on the daily chart. Here it is right here. So, I mean, it looks like we're not going to get there. This is a big move to the downside. But this is 61. We topped out there. We had some congestion. Then we topped out the last couple weeks at 61. I just thought this news may break it. But now that I look at this, I need to do more work because it's not going upside. I thought we were going to break 60 and then go. So now that we're not, I think I like 60 as a level. 20 period, 60. Yeah, we've stopped at 60. We've come back down. Look at it holding 59. 59 is a great hold. So again, I suggest the same thing. We're $1. Now we're more than $1 in the money on Softy. I suggest the same thing right now. Let's put a bid low side here, 59. See if we can't pick up some Uber and get lucky again. But hey, $1 winner before the market opens, Brendan, we should take that.
Absolutely, yeah. This Nuance not enjoying things right now. It's straight southbound. Let's go to Domino's. Not so much because what is happening in the pre-market, just because this is a really cool story. Get ready for robots delivering your pizza right to your front door. They announced a deal. They're teaming up with Neuro Limited, which is an autonomous and AI company for robot delivery for pizza. It's going to start in Houston. Morgan Stanley on that news, out with an upgrade this morning on this stock to $420 on the price target, guys, for DPZ.
So without looking, Brendan, are you ready? How much volume has Domino's done today?
Again, not because of what's going on in the pre-market.
I know. It's just
because this is a cool story.
I know. But have you looked though?
Of course I have.
Yeah, 500 shares, guys. So it's a huge story. Look, I know. Brendan led with that story, so we know there's no volume. I just want to bring it to everyone's attention again. Just the share volume size, 500. But is it an interesting story like Brendan led with? Of course. I mean, it's a huge story. Domino's. Look, I don't prefer the Domino's pizza. I mean, the kids really enjoy it. So shout out to the kids here today on March break. But this has been just such an, okay, that's Uber. Come on, chart. Domino's has been such an epic story from the bottom, and it continues to be that way, man. I mean, Domino's has just been huge. We got that dip down. Not even sure what was going on with this dip, but you did see some weak NASDAQ names come off. But this is the story. You can pull Domino's back, man. This thing came out like in the teens, even lower. So this is a huge success story. And it looks like, Brendan, here we are breaking out. So if we can get above this, well, we're not yet, but if we can get above this 404, 405, 410, like this area here, then I think it's a breakout. I don't know what you think about this, Neil, but I mean, I just think that robots delivering pizza seems to be almost too advanced for right now. I still see these little robots getting jacked all the time, so I'm not really sure what. I was very nervous about Amazon using robots as deliveries, and I do see some of them rolling around. I don't see them on the streets here in Toronto, but I have to see people making like little Instagram videos of robots delivering things, and I'm just nervous that these things eventually get jacked. I don't know.
I mean, to be honest, I mean, it's one of those things that seems inevitable to me. If you have the delivery space, at some point, the bigger names are going to want to ramp up and stick with the times. And so, look, I like Domino's. I just can't get with the day trade on this particular name. I think it's a much easier stock to play around with if it ever gives you some dips and then buy and they'll hold. But as a day trade, I don't see it, guys. Maybe there's some volume in here when it breaks 400 one day. Maybe that's this week, and this is the start of that. But it's, like you said, it hasn't moved. 500 shares, I'm not sure what you're supposed to do. 400 break, sure, why not? Let's look at that for later in the week if there's some volume.
More people just coming in, guys. Let's talk about Afria. Once again, earnings out this morning in the pre-market to the downside. Well, actually, I just checked. Yeah, starting to head back southbound here through 15 once again for Afria. Back towards these lows, reported a loss versus a year ago profit in their current quarter, guys.
Yeah, so we talked a little bit about the marijuana company here and what's been happening with Afria, what's been happening with Tilray, what's been happening with my biggest gun there, CGC as well, and they're all just getting faded out, man. I mean, Afria today comes out with a weaker report than expected. They lose money. They lose 53 cents. So that's not good. I'm just getting into nuance now, so let's hopefully that can make moves to the upside. We'll wait to see. Afria right now, downside though. We talked about getting, let me see if I can zoom in a little bit more. We've already done this stock, but I've talked about getting it into this 12 area, into this 14 area, bouncing. I think this is, again, another good spot to get some bids in there. We talked about putting some low bids on Uber. We talked about putting some low bids on Microsoft. That's paid off. We cashed out of Microsoft. Well, we're out of more than half. And then here we go with Afria. So I think the very same thing happens here. We put it on our list, 1520. I love this break just because we got to play some kind of momentum. And it actually held twice. So I put this list out here on Twitter like 8:30, and that 1520 holds twice, 3 times, 4 times since then, this 1520. So watch out here. We'll see if it breaks and holds. I mean, I think it breaks and we get back upside here. I don't think the quarter was as bad as many people think. So Afria right now, definitely on my watch, and we'll wait to see what it does. But again, 1425 has to be some kind of a kill spot on the downside. So, getting into this level, we're going to watch out for that. Let's put some, there comes. Let's put some low bids. This is going to be a wild ride today. Afria, CGC, Cron, Tilray.
Yeah, I think the support, that 1430 on the daily chart is going to be the key one. 1430, 1440. I mean, it's sort of splitting hairs here, guys. But either way, if it gets down to there, I think you have to hope for a bit of a bounce play on that particular name. I want to go, if I can, there's one from last week, Clover. I did get into this one pre-market here, guys, for you. So it was a bit of a breakdown through $8, and this had all kinds of, double bottom here at $8. Broke through in a big way to the downside. Got to 750. I was only able to get some at 780. I just got some more shares back into this one at 803 and giving it to that 820 mark. That 54.50 has an unbelievable iceberg order. Someone is selling an absolute boatload of shares on a NUAN at 54.50. If that gets broken, that's going to be the savior for that stock. I just feel like this was the area that you want to see if it defended. But with 15 minutes to go, someone is dumping before the open.
All right, let's talk about Tesla here. Up in the pre-market, about 1% or so. Canaccord Genuity out with an upgrade on Tesla this morning. Pointing to their shift towards power storage lately. They talked about last week the new facility they're setting up in California, very similar to the one that is already set up in Texas, talking about how they're becoming the brand in energy storage, guys, and the cost continues to come down in this sense as well. So Tesla back to the upside. Canaccord going to 1,071 on the price target for Tesla, which is actually only the second highest on the street right now.
You better believe it. Tesla's at 680. Well, crap. It's at 686. I was about to tell you guys it was at 687 because I love those 87 numbers on Tesla. It's been a bit on the march, at least a little bit. Not quite back and above that 700. Now keep in mind, 700 had some resistance here at 720 that we ran into, but look at last week. Look at this floor. It's not 666 that we talked about. It's more like 668, and I think that's going to be a key one here this week as well. So, I like Tesla. We had that poll. Sean had that poll up there. Do we think it at any point gets to 1,000? And at some point, it doesn't have to close there, and certainly most people agreed with that by the end of the year. So we'll go with that price target and be happy about it. I look at this 687 area. For potential break into that 700, that's got to be a scalp trade. 700 to 720 seems like a better area to play on a breakout. So, it's not that I don't like Tesla through this 687. I'd much rather look at 7 breaks today or tomorrow and then defend 666 any chance we get.
Yeah, we'll go from Tesla talk. I mean, we all have the same levels there, so that's a good one there. To NIO talk. Look, NIO's been, for me, it's just been like, wheelbarrow. So hopefully we can keep that going as well to the high side with NIO. It's been a great run to the downside, and then we've had some great intraday moves, including this huge move on Friday afternoon when we were sitting here. We went live. Obviously, we're back live every single day in the afternoon, so that was a big move for us. And then you saw off the open, just a huge move down, and then it held like this. This was, for me, this was just like lightning in a bottle down here, holding this 37. We cracked it, and we tweeted out on Friday, and I was like, who's with me? Let's smash this 38 to the short side. So all that happened was just puke city, man. As soon as we smashed it, this is exactly what happened. It went all the way to the downside, then it holds 37. So when you're looking at today, I'm sort of think of a similar result. Although NIO was strong. Like, it was actually, if you look at Friday's result here on the chart, you can see $20. Not $20, sorry, what am I talking about? $38 held on Friday. So that's going to be a level that we're going to watch right now. We'll see where it goes. I'm still waiting for it to drop down to 37, 37.50. That'll be a good little pickup spot, and then we see what happens. If the futures come down, man, I mean, now, forget about 38 smash. We're already there. We're going to hit 37.50, but I would much rather, like, the bigger trade comes through 37. So if we're lucky enough to get a 37 break to the downside and we're not long already, then we will hit that. But for right now, I like NIO resisting this 37.50 break. I think it's going to be strong. So we'll put some bids down here and then see what happens at 37. But 37.50, let's get some bids there right now for NIO and just check back quickly as we only have 13 minutes to go. Alibaba, still a big buy. Hello. We wrote down 238. That's going to break right now. See ya. So maybe we'll take a little long, and then Palantir, we're loving that one. Whoa, through 24.50.
That Boeing trade back on Friday was a bit of a choppy mess. There really wasn't a direction overall when we learned that there could be possible electronic problems once again for certain 737 MAX airliners. Boeing back to the downside again this morning. There was no real significant update to this story, but they were talking about some board members that might be leaving, and there was a firm that came in and suggested, a proxy firm that came in and suggested they need to reshuffle the board of this company. But 250, guys, my point. 250 down here, pretty significant.
Yeah, and this was somewhat support last week. I mean, there was a couple of breakdowns through 250 here, and you saw it sort of tap 249.50, 249.40, a couple of sessions in last week towards the end of the week. And you just sort of feel like with this today, tech's still looking relatively strong. I mean, it's going to be hard not to, sort of play the short side of the trade. I can't remember the last time I was intraday, like day trade short on Boeing, to be honest with you guys. But I sort of look at this. I'm not saying it's a nail in any kind of a coffin. Love Boeing, own Boeing. It's just, I think if we break that 250 today, it's probably going to be worth at least a little bit of a look to see if you can't get a small retracement in. And it's been a pullback of like 10% from the highs, or at least somewhere around that range. And to think that maybe we can get through that 250 after holding a couple times last week, if it doesn't hold it this time, I think you're actually going to get a bit of a winner, which it couldn't do if you took the 250 break. You were definitely losing each time last week. I think today could be a different story.
Yeah. I mean, Boeing's been a good stock for us. I'm still long at that 200 level, so we do like that. And I don't know. We'll just, again, today's going to be a little bit of a different day as the ES. I mean, we can change this up. I mean, here's the NASDAQ down 0.21%, not even 2. I wish it was 2% one way or the other, that we get some action. But the ES, the same thing, man, only down 0.1. So if you're going to look at Boeing right now, it's not doing too much. We always have 250 levels. Neil just went over some of the levels. 249.50, a good one from Friday. So let's just wait to see on Boeing. I mean, I'm not super excited. If anything, I mean, if you can't tell, this is why we do the cheat sheet. This is why we do our note. This is why we do the watch list. This is why we do the show. There's certain names that we're very, very excited about. Palantir is going to be one of them. Microsoft's going to be one of them. Nuance moving around. I mean, I'm stuck here. I'm long at 48, but again, I didn't dig into it here. I was seeing that same level that Neil was here at 54.50. So if this breaks 54, then I don't see any reason for me to hold this one. So we are giving back some of our gains that we had on the big boy, Microsoft, because we still are long down here. But just as an update, we also did take Alibaba. It's on our list, breaking through 238. So I've missed this break before on levels that I've liked in the pre-market due to the fact that I get scared that there's not enough liquidity. But with Alibaba, 1.56 million shares, I like this one breaking out today. We've already talked about that. So let's see how far we can dip upside with Alibaba. Any retracements to 237, I'm all in on this one.
Let's revisit Beyond Meat real quick, guys. There's a couple of little ones to get to at the bottom end of the list this morning. Small caps I'm referring to if you're joining us for the first time. Beyond Meat, though, announcing this morning a European retail expansion, including moving into Germany, Austria, and the Netherlands. Switzerland was also on that list as well. It did pop up, if you remember, back on Thursday, I believe it was last week, on some positive news. So here we go with Beyond Meat. But yeah, we're back into this range, guys, from Friday.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I'd be a little bit more inclined to defend Beyond Meat at 130 than defend Boeing at 250, and just because there's positive news behind this. It's a similar setup. You look in the last week, that bottom at 130, but it's a similar setup. I look for that defend. It makes a heck of a lot more sense to me than pumping the short through at that 130 mark on Beyond Meat. It hasn't done a ton of pre-market volume, so it's one of those. I mean, I'm not putting a stop in that's going to trigger me off the open and make it one of the trades I'm going to have in that first 5 minutes when there isn't some pre-market activity on Beyond Meat. But otherwise, I do like that defend. If we get that, maybe an hour into the day, half an hour into the day, 15 minutes after that opening rush, and you're getting a chance on volume, I think that makes a little bit more sense for me in Beyond Meat in front of 130. That's the support area. It's pretty clear. That's a 15-minute chart here for you guys to see last week's action. But that's the only trade I would like, be defending that level.
We talked about Beyond Meat earlier, Brendo, and I mean, when the news first came out, I mean, I like it. I think that this is, again, another 20-minute chart here. Maybe I can make it a little bigger for you guys here. Yeah, I mean, it's pretty clear down here, 130. Like, if we can hold this 130, that'd be fantastic. So look for any dip buys into 130 for Beyond Meat. I think this is a great story. I think they have the name, they have the pricing, they have the retail locations now. This is a further expansion into retail for Beyond Meat. And I don't know. I seem to think, I've had it before. I think it's reasonable, a beef supplement, but I mean, nothing beats real. But for Beyond Meat, I think it's first mover advantage. We saw what that meant. I mean, Tesla's a different beast, but there's so many other things. Smile Direct Club, there's so many different, you can look at lots of stocks that are making differences in their space. So Beyond Meat is one of those. I think it's a cult stock, not to the same extent as Tesla. I would never put any stock in that same group, but I do think that if there's enough love for something like Beyond Meat, this can get going. This should be in, and it's in my long-term portfolio. Not to say what's in mine should be in yours, but I really think Beyond Meat should be in everybody's long-term portfolio.
All right, not a tremendously busy morning when it comes to small cap world, but we'll talk about this one. PT, couple of little Chinese firms teaming up on some data work, some equity data work, in fact. But PT up on that news this morning. If you go to the daily chart on this PT, 160 up to about 170, a very, very clear line of resistance for this thing. So anything below 160 to 170, pretty good idea. To the downside for this thing, if it does start to hold 160, then breaks through 170, you might get a push on that one, guys.
Yeah, I actually like those levels as well, and I know some people in the chat were talking about that PT. BCTX with 5 minutes to go is the other name last on our watch list, which we're going over right now. Bria Cell Therapeutics, they got positive data from a cancer study. This broke down in a hard way at 580 already, so you start to look at where we're trading now. Let's give you the daily chart, pulling back into what was a bit of a top at $5. So when you have a push, going into like late week, a bit of a failed breakout after market at that 5 even, it's hard to expect it to come too much further than this, guys. I think there is a chance that it can bounce off 5 even. It's at 525 now, but I've basically taken everything off of that 578, and we've got the win that we're going to have on this stock for today. Just feel like if there's a bounce, I might try to play off of 5 now that we've had the short trade. So look for BCTX to possibly consolidate off of Friday afternoon's prices at that 5. And watch out, that NYSE if there's if a bid shows up at 54, which I'm waiting for, I'm like hands off until this thing can hold any kind of a bid. Someone is dumping this stock.
Yeah, someone's dumping that stock, that's for damn sure. Okay, so we're going to wait for Palantir to go. We're going to wait for Microsoft to go. We already got Microsoft, so Microsoft's already pretty sweet for us. Upside right now, we have this long. We've already cashed out twice, so we're holding small shares. We'll wait to see if we get bids back into 254.50. Palantir here, as we're getting ready to open up right now. I'm going to take a small bid, guys. So when you do see a 250, like a 50 show up here, 53, 54, what did I bid exactly? 51, okay. So I got super conservative there. 51s show up, we will take that bid, but then we are looking for downsides, man. I mean, on this name, we know it can make a move down, but we also know what it can do to the upside. So that's Palantir. So we'll take a 25 break, that's for sure, but we have to wait now. I think it can fill us backside. So we'll wait for some dumps down to these kind of levels in here. If we can get, I don't think we'll get 7. I don't think this thing comes down $1, but if it does, then we'll look at this a little more closely. But I do like 24. Otherwise, we wait for a 25 break on Palantir. That's looking pretty good. Alibaba's not doing a whole hell of a lot. Neo, Uber to 61. Let's check that out quickly. What time is it? Okay, we still got lots of time. Why am I rushing? 59 and change. So we do have some downside bids on Alibaba. We're also looking at on Afria as well. There, as Nuance finally breaks enough for me to get out of some of my shares there. I was just baby testing that one. We'll wait for this to come back down to 1450 with some more Afria bids downside as well. What's up, bro?
Real quick, guys, XPeng, I just noted, popped up here to 35, so a little bit of volume came into XPeng there. They're going to debut, apparently, a new LiDAR-equipped smart electric vehicle, guys.
And there's one other one I want to get to, Wilhelm. It's up 67%. There was a bit of a push. It's just happening in the last few seconds or few minutes here. The only story that I think I saw, I mean, it was nothing really concrete. Someone increasing their stake to like 18%, some firm. So I didn't even remember the name of the firm. That's how small the story really was in terms of finding any significant news here. Either way, it's up. It's still trading to the upside. It's still pushing. I thought this was going to be a rollover play. Off of 825 here when I first sat down, had to get some locates on it. It's now since broken through. I'm probably going to have a quick look at 850 now instead, because that's the ramp level that we're looking at right now. If it pushes to the upside, I'm probably not going to touch a short unless it tests the high at $12. So if you're watching WHLM, strong, and not much of a catalyst. So it does feel like, I don't know, you get some of these bull rampers that have got these stocks going, and if it's below 850, I'll take a crack at it for the short side. But other than that, it'll be hands off for me till it gets to at least 1150.
Okay, so a couple things just popped in here as the market coming down, so not good right now for us. But it's okay. Afria just got popped through 1450, so this is a spot that we're well aware of. We just took an Afria long here. We'll take it long down here again as well, and just make sure that we have enough sell pressure to get out through 14, so we do. So again, we'll average into this Afria position. We just took it on this dip down. We talked about defending 1450, why we liked it. We're right in this teeth. The mouth of the dragon here, I think, anyways, on Afria. So we'll see if it breaks through 13 downside, and we will get out. But right now, Afria, a long just popped in. So there it is there. We did get some more Microsoft longs, I believe. Yeah. So we got touched again downside on Microsoft. So, the market falling down a little bit right now, which should get us into some Palantir maybe. I don't want to be everything long. This has been a dramatic change in my philosophy. I can't just be holding all of these names. So we're going to wait here. NEO 3750, that's well away. So we will watch NEO through 3750. Really, that's the only decision maker that I have to make right now is NEO. I'm in everything else. We'll wait for that one. With less than a minute to go, check on the imbalances right now. BABA with a big buy. So we like that one. We'll see if we can pick that up on any dips. And then on the NASDAQ side of things, SNDL, Neil's favorite stock there, still a buy, or not still a buy, but there's Afria.
That's tiny for that stock.
Yeah, I hate that stock. I hate all marijuana stocks, actually. And now here's Afria to the sell side. Okay, we're getting ready, Neil.
Yeah, and I just got into Uber here, guys. Uber ticked down in front of that 59, so I picked some shares up at 59.22 with just seconds to go. Miss V is going to be on the bell. At least I think she's going to be on that bell because I haven't checked behind me, but I got Uber to the long side. Let's see if it can't hold that one. Monday morning, guys. Let's get this week started. You got CoinDesk, you got bank earnings, but today we have a lot of movers here. 3, 2, and 1. Let's get this party started.
All right, we've got Uber as well, so we're
Uber immediately
right now. It's coming to the downside right now. So this is not going to be a good day if everything just keeps on Tank City right now, including Uber to the downside. So watch out for 58.50 here on Uber. We just got that long as well. We got long on Afria. Afria's working though. That's going upside.
Yeah, I mean, I just took some of this Uber off just so we can have a little bit of the position left. But if it wants to hold, there is this little dip price back to like 58 halves that I want to be able to dig in if I can get a shot at it. So Uber initially selling through, wanted to have a more trim position as it started to come back off. And Clover looks like that's starting to come back for me here. I want to pick some more shares up to the short side there. But, oh, yeah, if Uber holds 59, I'll probably jump right back in. And no break on BAC just yet, but it's getting very close to that high of day.
Yeah, we're running things right now. Okay, so Uber, we just take a nice little long on Uber. And here it goes. Yes, sir. Beautiful, man. We got that 58.75. I told you about sitting down low and grabbing some of these. Uber with the ripper. Yes, sir. Superman is in the building on you, Uber. We have $1 plus now in the money on Uber. Cash that one out. So Uber, big time move on this one. We talked about this. There it goes. Woohoo! Uber killing it right now, Neil.
And I'm gonna get some. I'm gonna be actively trading. You're gonna see that on Nuance. I took some Uber off there, and I'm gonna take literally the rest. I was trying to get that in front of 60. I'm gonna take the rest off in front of 60. Remember, there's a 60-50 breakout. There's gonna be a bit of a dip buy opportunity, I think, looming if we touch that 60-50 area. That's likely to be in that 59, like 50 to 59.80 range, and then to quickly come back over if I can to Tesla here for you guys. This is one that we want to be. There we go. This is one that we want to be involved. Come on, load. Oh, there we go. Finally. I wanted to be involved in like a 666. It does touch down to like 680. If it does make a secondary move to the downside, I'm looking to pick that one up off the bottom. There was a little bit of weakness that it just showed off the open, but bouncing nicely. That whole market was falling to the downside and then came right back.
Yeah, in a big way right now. Uber, guys, though, this is just a monster trade for me. We talked about, some of these levels and going through, and bang, we got $1.50 now in the money. We have 50 cents in the money on Softy as well. Picked up some more bottoms on Softy. Let's just get some out at 98 if we can. There it is, another win for us right now. What a day it is, man. This day turning great for us, actually, as we go. Microsoft, a big winner. The only problem here for me also is NUAN. It's the only stock that I've lost on today. Wish I didn't have this, and we'd be monstrous, obviously, but that doesn't matter at this point. Alibaba has fallen down a little bit here. I thought that was a good spot for them on some of that, the report there on the 2.8 billion fine. I guess maybe that hasn't settled down yet. So we do pick that up. Oh, did I say that's not settled down? That's going. Alibaba right now, 237.85. We're long at. Bye-bye. Can we make $1? Superman, this has been a great trading day so far. Up $1 now. Go Alibaba. We just talked about this name. Look at this. Bang, bang, bang. Upside. I'm not getting rid of Alibaba. This is a big one for us. Let's go. Palantir, let's go. That one started to go. We picked up some 25s as well. I mean, we're just playing the playbook here, Neil. Every day, this is what we do, man. We give you the levels and I take them.
Just got BAC to the long side. I'll get to Clover in a second, but BAC broke to the top. Remember 420 was the long, got 22, slipped a penny or two. It looks like we're finally getting this break on BAC. This was last week's. All those highs at 40.20, trying to make that push through on BAC. Now you're getting that little dip that's coming through in Uber, guys. Brendo, what's up?
Heads up on Africa, guys. The conference call currently underway. They're still talking about this lockdowns, COVID-related lockdowns being headwinds in the short term. So, yeah, more negativity possible for Africa. Just noticed this one as well. Mara, some of the blockchain stocks ripping here. Just tested 53 on Mara, guys.
Yeah, Africa can't seem to hold that 1430. It's going to be hard to get away from a 14 even break, guys. That's a support level that you can't let go.
Look at this. Microsoft, $2 in the money. Uber, $2 in the money. Palantir, 25 cents in the money. Alibaba, 20 cents in the money, but already took out that for $1 win. So right now we're just cruising, man. The only stock that we're losing on right now, Nuance can go to hell. We've talked about that over and over again, but whatever. I'm not losing that much there. But Uber, good trading. We'll just have to find some more. What else are we talking about? NEO here today. The thing is, I don't want to just keep on looking at, okay, so NEO with a big drop. I just don't want to keep looking at other stocks when I have some nice ones on here. Palantir, we got to get some out, man. It's right at that 50 level. This is exactly the action that we talked about we wanted here. A dip down on Palantir and then a buy. This is why we go over the levels, man. This is why the cash cow that is Palantir just keeps on going. Neil went in the gates of hell. Never a good sign.
It's not the gates of hell for the stock, but we talk about going through 250. That this time might be a little bit different. It just cracked 249. We took the break. We got 49.88 is the price. Took some off in front of that 49 even. Now going to hang on to it. This is nothing against Boeing. It was just a couple of cracks at that level last week, and it couldn't seem to break through. Now it looks like we have a decent shot that it could be heading to the southbound side. Market's still at least a little bit strong, but Boeing, 1 for 1, and we're shorting this one. I can't remember the last time we shorted Boeing in the day trade, but we have done it here today. And BAC, it's still trying to go here. Got a second leg out, and with BAC, you're probably going to take those 5, 10, 15 cent scalps each time. If it gets to 450, I'd look to only have half the position through a 450 break, but BAC trying to hold this breakout that it just put in.
You know what looks like it's not going to hold? It looks like Africa ain't going to hold. So we're going to wait to see if this breaks through 14. We talked about that. That's going to be the kill spot. So, yeah, you know, we are human. We could lose every once in a while here, including on Africa. So it looks like
oh my goodness, that's got to be an offering.
May happen right now. Okay, so we're still holding. So for my Nuance, I was giving it to the bottom of the day here. So if it breaks through 53.50 here, then we're going to get out. But right now we took our last little shot. You could see the average price of mine's 92. So we're still well off that little level there for Nuance. Palantir's come all the way back in. This is why we cash out, man. You know that I play around the 50s. That's our first in. We were able to get 25s. We cashed it out right there at VWAP, so a good trade. Palantir, positive stock for us. The best stock for me, though, today, without question, Uber. We talked about that. It's right here. It's on our levels, man. It went up to 61 and stopped. One of the number one stocks that we looked at. Oh, ears through 550. We haven't had a look at that yet either. But right now, nothing really on my mind. We're just waiting for Africa to do something, trying to let this one work. We've taken profits on it, but it's not doing anything. So we need to wait to see where this one goes. But other than that, man, I'm just chilling right now, looking for some more opportunities. Put some in the chat, guys.
Yeah, I mean, BCTX, I don't know that maybe it wasn't offering. I didn't have a chance to check here, but I just got the last year's out at 468. So that dropped in an absolute hurry like a rock. If it bounces off here, I'll try to cash like 5, 15 to the downside. I didn't even think this was going to be a dollar win in the last end, but I thought it would base out at 5 even. That clearly never happened. It continued to fall like an absolute rock. It is what it is. That stock is gonzo. Brendo?
DoorDash, guys, just popped up on a scanner here through, yeah, looks like Friday's high there. 141 taken out on volume here for DoorDash starting to go.
Okay, so we just went longer. It's just a stupid Nuance stock is the only one that's bothering me. It's the only one that's going down on on this market for me today so far. Okay, so Alibaba does break through 239. We've already cashed out on Alibaba. Like, we're $1 in the money on that, and I just wanted to get more here, just in case it wants to go. We know how violent this name could be, so I'm going to drop it if it breaks down through 237. Actually, now that I see this, maybe 236.50. Let's change that, my sell order, through 236.50. We'll try to average into some more, and it's a name I like. So, hey, if we fall down on the sword on Alibaba, that's what I'm going to do. I do like this name. We're getting close to the breaking spot on Nuance here. Obviously not trading like a buyout. Brendan hit the nail on the head. Let this one settle down before you get involved with this one. So that's good advice there from Brendo. Let's wait to see if that comes through. And then Palantir trying to bounce again off that 25. Why I didn't have a bid in there? Just wasn't paying attention, guys. You got to put another one. Let's wait to see if it holds 24.25 again.
Yeah, and going to get to Tesla here for a second. It's trying to get back above that 687 that we talked about before. I like 700 a little bit better, but Tesla's starting to get going. So I'm going to pick a little bit of a break here off that 87 if I can catch it. I missed the actual like trigger entry, but if it comes back down and maybe gives me like 88, 88 half, something along those lines, we're able to just pick up here and see if we can't get going, because this market's starting to scream a little bit here. The ES, pennies away, ticks away, not pennies, ticks away from getting positive territory. That's the same thing with the NASDAQ. So Tesla through 87. I like 700. It's a great number, but I think there's a scalp trade here into that number.
Yeah, so far so good, man. We are just really, really doing well today. And we just need to wait for Afria. I know Brendan mentioned that the conference call is now, which is never good to be trading in it, but we've already got our levels, man. So we're in. We did jump a little bit there, thinking we were going to crack through 14. I still think that's most likely going to happen because it's not going. So we'll wait for some good news, get it back to VWAP and see if we can't dump that. What is that, a football? Yeah, smash the likes no matter what that was. The cash cow's coming through now as well on everything, man. There goes Alibaba. We smashed through 239, like buy. So right now, all we're doing is buying Alibaba and trying to hold it for as far as we can take this thing. I think maybe now is good. 240, if we can get out now at 240, I think that's a decent spot for Alibaba, but just keeps on going to the upside. 7%, it can go more, guys. So let's give Alibaba some more room to go on that upside. Nuance trying to come back. We're still in that one, and then Mr. Softy still with a 70-cent win. This looks like this is a good spot, man. 256.40. Market Rip City right now. What up, B?
I just noticed this. Oris Medical mentioned earlier here. Ears just breaking some support levels from the pre-market. Has to hold above 5 here. Remember back on Thursday, they announced this mysterious conference call that's going to happen tomorrow, guys, about possibly positive data from them.
Yeah, and just going to come back to Boeing for a second. It just bounced off of 248.20. I think if it gets back above 50, I can take this one off and look for that 245 mark. Now, something in front of it like a 45.50, a 46 even, something along those lines if things get really weak. But I have to have a stop here, I think, around that break even, just because this market showed a little bit of strength there. I know we just had a bit of a bounce. Sorry, not bounce, but fade back in the market a couple of seconds ago. But overall, some strength being put in. Boeing, I like it, and it's giving a little bit of profit, but I'm not going to throw that one away. Got to go with that 250 stop. I want to come over to, if I can, back to that BAC position. It's just bounced off of 40.20 again and headed towards the upside. If it does fail to take out 40.37, which is the current high, I'll probably see if I can't get some more shares out in the 30 range. It does make a heck of a lot of sense now that it's rounding out. BAC, not always the biggest mover in the world. Tesla, sort of teetering, goes in the money block, out of the money block. I want it to hold above that 690 before we can start taking profit.
Okay, diamond hands alert on BABA, $3 winner. We just took it at 240.50, so 237.50. Sorry, $4, $3, I don't remember what I just said. $3 winner regardless. There's the 237.50 in. There's the 240.50 out. We talked about loving Alibaba. It's on our sticky note how much we like that. 238, 240. We talked about loving Alibaba, and there it goes. So yeah, we're going to be holding that one for as long as we possibly can. That is Alibaba, one of my favorite names to trade. So there it goes back to the upside. Now, Palantir, you need to be discussed right now because you are not going to the upside right now. You're coming back down. So we have some key levels to watch out for here on Alibaba, and I think it's a mistake not to. So on Palantir. So let's call those up quickly. 24 and change, 23.75. We have this 23.60 level. We're going to wait to defend that. No idea what's going to happen there, but we're going to wait to defend it. We are long now. Palantir. 26s. It's looking good for me, but not good for me, sorry, but that's where we're long. We're going to try to average into this trade, guys.
Tesla just took off the pre-market top there at 690. Like I said, I will scalp some out there. So we got like the quick $2 scalp. And then we're going to look to see if it can't press into that $700 range. Now, I do think 700 is going to be a break. Very likely, unless we get tremendous strength in the market, which we're essentially back to flat here. I don't think we're going to get anything too nuts. That's why I like it out in front of that 700. If we get a break, fantastic. We'll see what happens. But the flush is now on that nuance. It's going to have to see if it holds 53. I took an initial position at 77. I already got blown out once. I'm waiting for it to round off before I take any more shares of this one. At some point, I do expect a bit of a bounce, but I would tread very, very lightly unless you want this like whipsaw action that you're seeing in nuance. At some point, I think it's going to bounce a buck. It's just not there yet. Brendo? Oh, no, Miss V?
Hey Neil, Mara being mentioned on the chat a lot. Stock is up around 9%, guys.
Mara.
Yeah. Mara, Riot, blockchain, they're all the same kind of thing today based on what the heck is going on with Bitcoin. As Bitcoin breaking through 60 again over the weekend, we talked about that one. Mara up that 10%. I saw some news on Riot, Brendan, maybe if you wanted to come with that earlier. I think it was they mined 187 Bitcoins, and I apologize, you might have brought this to our attention, but I think there was some news on Riot. Let's throw it over to the big guy.
Yeah, it was exactly that. They came out just with some monthly numbers as far as mining is concerned. They now hold as well. I can give you a little bit of an update. They now hold 1,565 Bitcoins total, but their monthly numbers were up huge, guys, as far as mining.
So slightly less than the number that I hold. Amazing number there, a 1,500. Like, I mean, the more MVIS, I mean, there's a button at MVI, not MVIS. MicroStrategy, that's different company there. They're basically just a Bitcoin company themselves. So you can watch out there for Riot. I mean, all these names just keep on going. If you want to get into Bitcoin, BTCC.B is my choice. Okay, Uber still flying, but we've already gotten out most of it. That's why it's not really affecting anything. We're waiting on Palantir, man. We have some lower bids now to come through. So 2380, hopefully we're going to be getting some bids in there. Well, not hopefully, I hope it goes up. But right now we're dying on a sword with Palantir, and we're not dying, guys. We've actually made back more money than we started the show with because of all the moves to the upside there. The only thing that's really screwed us up is that nuance. Everything else has been a monster winner, including now even Alibaba just ripping upside. So not worried about Palantir. It'd suck if that would be the one that we lose on because of how much I talk about it. But Alibaba was definitely the stock that we preferred today. So that's a good trade. And I still like some Palantir. So let's get going on the upside here. What's up, Brad?
Not seeing anything on this one either, but we mentioned this back on Friday. Yeti got up to all-time highs on Friday. That means we're back in all-time high territory. This is 79.5 down here. We're at 83, guys, for Yeti.
Yeah.
And we're at 93 for Tesla here. It's about just shy of $5 in the money. Remember, we talked about that 700, so that's what we're looking for to see if we can't get that push. Clover. Here we go. Clover. Come on, load up there. A bit of a round off. We talked about that pre-market high. There was one big, and this is real. It actually flushed down to 750 in the pre-market, but it was so quick and there was so little liquidity, it was hard to pick up that move. And I tried to get some bids out there. I still have them in, but it already snapped back. There is a 790 level, which is showing some support here, guys. So as I took more shares over $8, my now current average price on the position in Clover is 803. And if it breaks 8, I'll start taking profit off again and down in front of that 790. So it's likely to be a rinse and repeater. That Boeing trade, which was the south side short trade that we had on, again is starting to find itself some consolidation at 248. So it's now a double bottom at 248.25. It's in the money, of course, and it has been this entire time, but have to start thinking about the weakness abating just a little bit here in Boeing as Tesla starts to take the top off. If it gets close to 700 and rolls over, I'm just going to take it out manually, but now 696, getting very close to that 700 mark that we're targeting.
Yeah, and you want to talk about targeting something, check out Alibaba, guys. I mean, this stock is just targeting nothing but upside and nothing but love. Like, I'm honestly, like, about to go crazy because I'm definitely seeing a lot of these stocks and a lot of these levels, and it definitely worth, like, there should have been way more shares than I put on right there on that 239 break. We loved it. We talked about 238, 240, and now you're just going to the upside. So I'm getting excited about some of the things that I'm seeing here and how we're trading. So hopefully we can just continue the moves and keep going on the upside. I'll just, got to stay away from a potential buyout at what, $56 or whatever this thing was, now down to 53. So nuance now, it continues to go down. It's just been, tried it, got out real fast, tried to defend that 50, didn't work. Tried to defend the O's, didn't work, got out. And then right now you're bouncing around with doing absolutely nothing. Palantir's about to come out, man. We're not going to hold this thing through 270, 69s or so is going to be the out. So this one will be a hit. We're down 35 cents on this, which is big because we've averaged in. So this will be the biggest hit for me today, for by far the only hit, really, besides Nuance. But I don't know that stock, so we don't take shares. But this one's going to come out, and it's going to be a hit. We're right at these levels, guys. This is going to be tough. It doesn't look like it wants to go. The ES and the NASDAQ, this is the ES. We'll call it the NASDAQ in a minute. But we know that Palantir generally will go down when the market goes up lately. We've noticed that trend. So this is not surprising to me, but disappointing either way, as it looks like we're probably going to get stopped out soon on Palantir. I'm in this, so we're just going to wait to see what the gods give to us here. Whether or not we break 69 or not is in the cards. What's up, Brendan?
I mentioned in the pre-market some of the crypto-related stocks not really participating in the rally that we saw. The actual underlying instruments moving here. SOS just popping up on volume, ripped from 540 to 580, guys, coming into big levels over here for SOS.
Definitely big levels on SOS. I want to come, if I can, I just got out of Tesla. I talked about this, and I was about to talk about the break on SOS, but you kind of see it rolling that 6. And 6 is a big one, and we'll look at that when it gets there. But it just started a bit of a rollover, saw a bit of a rollover, 96, 97. So like I mentioned, if it got close to that 700, we take it off. You don't want to look a gift horse in the mouth. It's close enough to that price area that if you think resistance is coming and you see a shot at it, you just sort of take it. So like I said, we'll take our profit. We'll walk away from that one. I think SOS, which you'd mentioned, Brendan, this was a name which was not necessarily moving as lockstep with the rest of the crypto spaces we were seeing before. So I think you can sell this one on stronger pops. I would just like it a heck of a lot closer to that 6 even price from last week. So if we get a fail break through 6, that's what I'm going to be looking for in particular. BAC can't seem to go anywhere. It went in the money. We took some out. We scalped it. Of course, that's the daily chart. We went in the money, took some out, scalped it. It's now right back towards that 415 area. If it can hold, 4015 area. If it can hold 40, fair enough. I've managed to take some of it off here, just under half the position. If it levels off, maybe we'll take some to the long side. This is a trial break for this stock. It tried to break 40-20 all last week. It gets up to like 15, 20 pennies higher. Not holding 40 even would really stink for the look of that breakout. Now, it could happen later on this week, but for the day trade here, you can't let it go past that 40 range. That's the only place where I'll buy a bit of a dip. And Clover, that's fantastic, and Boeing, but also looking weak as the market rolling over here.
Yeah, the market just rolled over hard, and we got out of Microsoft there, so that was a good play. We just manually got out of that one at 255.50. Unfortunately, we'll hold a little bit of Palantir, but there we go. We will fall or flush ourselves down the toilet. Look, it's been finally, not finally. I mean, I hate taking a loser. It sucks, but there's a loser that we finally do take on Palantir. It's been a good one, man. We've been averaged into it, and then now today we take a little bit of a hit. I mean, it's small compared, but I still hate to do it. But there it is, the NASDAQ falling down. So watch out below. I'm not even going to average in to anything. We just talked about Palantir a little bit here. Just for you guys looking at levels, the next area for me for concern is this 23.25. So we got to wait till we get down there. I'm not even sure about this 23.50 area with the NASDAQ crashing down here. I want to stay away from that. We're looking to get short into NEO. What's up, Brendo?
Another M&A headline to throw at you guys. Aventor, which is AVTR, the ticker symbol, buying this German company Ritter for $1 billion. So this is a laboratory supply company. Super exciting. Broke 32 there, straight to the upside, guys, for AVTR on that news.
Right, you sounded really excited about that one.
Clearly.
Yeah, exactly. Okay, NEO, there's the 37, the 37 break. So let's wait to see where we go now. I mean, this could be disastrous or not. There's the break. I was trying to get short as much as we could in here. It never popped upside. So now we take a little bit of a risk and take that 37 short. We talked about 38 on Friday being a smash level. This may be too low, but I was trying to get it, and I just said, you know what? We missed it, so let's take some 37s. We take the stick out, and now let's see if this one wants to give us any love on the downside. Right now, it's not looking like it. We will pick up some Palantir around that quarter, but it needs to get down there as well, guys.
Those eyes starting to look a little bit weak as it rolls back over here. I know some of you guys are watching the stock, but look at Friday's bottom. It's at 870, so those of you guys that are talking about a big key hold here, if it can hold that 870 level. Maybe you get a push back in. I sort of look at that 886 Friday close. It holds in that price range. It's going to be weak, and I'd like to fade it. But either way, 870 bottom, that's a breakdown trade for me almost every single time, even though it's already come off a little bit. I mean, I'm going to get to Clove if I can, and then I'm going to go back to Boeing here, but Clove, Clover, right back into that same 780, 790 area where it had resistance or support before. So I start taking a bunch of shares off. You just got to take profit where it is. I think this is one that if it doesn't break that 820, I want to be shorted all day long. So on any kind of pop, I'm going to jump back into it. I picked some Uber up off the pre-market lows there. So back in defending that 59 price, 59.13 to the long side for me. And then Boeing, which I thought we'd get a little bit more of a secondary push. I mean, it just finally broke that 248. Flush down, 247, snap back like a dollar here back to that 248 range. So it's still in the downward trend. This market, I mean, trying. It's a bounce a little bit here, but I just feel like Boeing has some more room to run. I'm not going to go with a trailing stop yet. I'm still looking for break even or closer to that $4 winner.
So we're still, someone said what happened to Palantir. Yeah, it fell down. Just in case 50 is the top or is the bottom, we'll take a little more there just to wait to see. I am waiting for this. We did get some 45s there. So we are, averaged in a little bit here to Palantir. So a good spot. We'll just wait to see. We do have now 65 as our price as we took some more there. So we'll wait to see it. I mean, this name could continue its downward move. And then if it does, man, we're going to watch out for those 23, 25 levels. We've talked about that over and over and over again. Okay, so the one stock that I like to the short could be completely wrong, and it'll tell us right now if it breaks back above VWAP 3740. We're going to get smoked on NEO to the downside as well. But again, trying to find a weak name, and I hate it because I know a lot of you are long NEO, but there are some people with puts as well. So let's wait to see if this market continues to puke to the downside. NEO probably joins the party. I think it's been a weak, not I think, it is a weak name. You see down 2.6%. So this is a weak name. Palantir is getting in trouble as well. We talked about that one. But one long, one short, not a really good situation here. I'd rather be in one way than the other because I can't be long Palantir, short NEO. If the NASDAQ rips, one will win, one will lose. So let's just relook at this one. But NEO upside, I like it. We've got to watch out for the Palantir downside though, guys. Yeah, and I'd also watch out for this Afria. Afria just broke that 14. Basically went a couple of pennies to the downside and then bounced back up here. So it's in the midst of an attempted break at that low. It is short sell restricted, so if people couldn't hit that bid, there could be some fading into the short. But I like these when they can hold up to a level like that and maybe give a little bit of a snapback. So if we get back above those teens and maybe can break out through like 14.25, I'll take a quick long and Afria off that kind of a bounce. Brendo?
Reopen/travel stocks week today. This one, UAL, 3.5% downside. They updated their current quarter forecast to the downside today. Look out for 56 down here. It kind of corresponds with these levels for UAL, guys. 3.5%. Yeah, everything seems to be going the wrong way today for us. Depending on what positions you take. That's why we say, guys, just look at what we're doing. You don't necessarily have to copy everything. Some days works out, some days does not, including right now. It doesn't, it's not going to be a huge hit again, but, I do have shares here on NEO. We're out of the money right now. 18 cents, and that's normal, not normal for me, so I'm getting a little bit nervous, but I do like this to come back into 37. Let's take a little bit off if we're lucky enough to get some into the 37 range, and then watch it because it's a slippery slope, this NIO. Palantir has size there at 50. I just wanted to show everybody that. So that's going to be also a possibility here for a problem on some, oh, there it is. Okay, so it reversed it up. So we're long Palantir, we're short NEO. There was some size at 50 there to look out for. Microsoft looks like it was a good out for us. Upside at 255. Could take some downside pickups. I know you picked up Uber on the downside. Did that work out at all there, Neil?
No, it's starting to. When I got my first out on Uber, I was actually going to go to a different stop, but I can come right back to you here. I got that first little bit out when it gets to that quarter. Bottom pick, waited to sort of jam more shares in when it actually tested the pre-market low. But you look at this shelf at 59.30, I'm always going to take some profit off there just in case we hold this. And it's a pre-market range between 30s and let's call it like 75. So I want some profit out in that sort of medley of chop or whatever you want to call it below VWAP there, and then we can sort of dig into that 59. It's an overall weak market, and I'm just sitting here like normally short a bunch of things, and all I have on is I got no small caps, just that Clover, and I got Boeing, which it seems like it can't go. I'm just looking for something else that I can maybe dig into a short, and then I go back over to BAC, which was the stock that I was about to mention here. This is sort of the leveling off that I was waiting for, right? So we do take some profit off. If you take no profit here on the 40.25 break, to me, you almost have to take it out at 40.15. I get half out, allows me to have more shares if I want to in front of 40. But as weak as this market just was, I was sort of waiting for consolidation to get any more shares to the long side because I already have a couple of longs that are bouncing back down like that Uber trade. Brendo?
A bit of a merger Monday, guys. More M&A activity. Luminex, whoops. Sorry, my apologies. Luminex Corporation up significantly here after a $37 per share takeout deal that was accepted. So LMNX. Big volume, not doing anything, but big volume up on that deal, guys.
So if you do see, I have traded Luminex a little bit in the pre-market in and out. That's more of a traditional just move one spread at a time, like 1 penny at a time, and you can take some of that. Tyrone Bigham's, you asked about that 27.50 level on Virgin Galactic, and I sort of said this the last couple of times we talked about this stock. I'm done with the scalp trading of this name, or not scalp trading, but like swing trading in particular. I don't see it anymore. There was a chance the first time at 27.50, the second time through. There was a nice bounce, which I kind of said you should be taking some out in the 30s. It is what it is. You guys do whatever you want to do with the stock. I think perfectly fine if you want to hold on to this stock for 5 or 10 years. But if it tested 27.50 again, you probably have a chance at a better price, and that's looking like those low 20s for me. So do I want to load back in? Yeah, probably, but I can be very, very patient with this one. It's been a great level before, but only so many times you're going to play something like that, and that's why it wasn't on my radar particular today. Uber, I mean, it's only at 35s. I'll take some out 35s, 45s, 55s, all the way up to that 60 area, and then see if we can't get a bit of a hold. But the market, not as strong as we thought it might have been. Should have worn that green, Miss V.
Yeah, the market's, I mean, it fell down a little bit there. Okay, so we're just taking some, and we've averaged into some NEO here. It's not going to be as big of a trade because I've dumped some here, but now that it looks like it's trying to resist that, I actually tried to get some 24s last time up here and missed it. So we're going to be averaging into this one. We got some more out right here on Palantir as it went right back to 50. Now we're averaging in. We're waiting for that drop spot right now, man, through the 20s, and then we're gone. Like, I'm not going to let this one go. We talk about it all the time. Look at this candle straight down on the 20 period. There's no love here. You don't see this kind of straight downward move anywhere in the last 2 weeks. So that tells me that, hey, this name is not getting defended at all. It's straight down. I mean, I know 20-minute candle is ridiculous to look at right now, but you could see that we are into that range right now. So watch out for $23 to possibly break. If this breaks back down below quarters, I'm going to get out. Palantir has just done too much damage to the downside today for me to keep on averaging in. Although I still have hope that there is a move to the upside coming, guys.
I'll hit this one because
let's just wait and see. No idea where we're going to go here. Here's Rolls Royce. Just checking that out. It's not working, but we'll call that up. Oh, there it is. Neil comes flying in. What's up?
Oh, I mean, you had me at Rolls Royce, so I'm like, wait a minute, that stock's moving today. But
it's not.
Finally trying to get back, like I said, into VWAP. I think there was a bit of a stall out at 35s, a bit of a stall out here at 50s. It's trying to get back up to VWAP as Uber. So if it comes back down, we'll keep defending 59 as a price. Afria, I talked about this one a little bit here, and I actually took 2 entries, oddly enough. The first was, remember those quarters when they broke? And then I looked here and I'm like, okay, well, 1430 had a bit of a level as well. So I picked some more shares up on the north side of that. So a couple of entries, going to work out to like just a 30 half average price. This has everything to do with 14 even flushing out and not going anywhere. So when I see that kind of hole down there and we get the break back up, I've seen that picture before in a stock which is way down. And even if we only go back to 15, I like this trade. So we're back above VWAP. I can start scalping off every 15, 15s, maybe some of that 1450 area on the evens as well. So 45s to 47s actually makes a ton of sense to me. And then from there was a pullback right into 1475. So take some shares out in front of that 3/4 mark. But I like those little bottom picks, especially when you get a failed breakdown. Anyone shorting that 14 break is running to the exits here, hopefully at 1430 and 14. Whoa, yeah, just spiked up to 1450. So thank you, Afria, for that little bounce back, guys. And a good point out. You know, we got to stick to the names that are moving. I know a couple of you guys were looking at that one on the chart. And I love those failed breaks, up or down, doesn't matter. 10 o'clock. Okay, let's go to Brendan for happening now.
Yeah, just like that. 10 o'clock, guys. Let's get a look at where we are at this point. North American markets in negative territory here. The S&P 0.14. The Dow just as well, 0.18%. NASDAQ leading to the downside. It's the composite, 0.5%, the 100.3. You can see small caps as well, 0.4% to the downside. Here in Toronto, we're just negative, 0.18%. on the day so far. A couple of things we were looking at in the pre-market. Yeah, Neil was talking about Tesla here. Day highs on volume, in fact, for Tesla, looking really strong after that Canaccord upgrade to 1,017 price target. This one as well. Yeah, we mentioned 250. This was 250. Bye-bye. 246-ish now for Boeing, guys. Downside as well.
Well, it's not 246. Well, it's not at my bid yet. It is what it is. But Tesla is at that 700 mark. So all systems go for a 700 break if it can actually go on me here. Want to make sure we can take this one. And you want a good price. I mean, you can think about how you want to get in. I'm always going to use limit orders. So every now and then I miss that break because you don't cross up far enough. But like, I'm not sitting there crossing to 705 and getting some ridiculous print. But if you get the break, there it is. There's Tesla through like 700. I always like the initial push, see where it tries to reverse to, and then see if you can't get like a quick scalp trade and then a bit of a dip buy. Play it both ways here if you can. But Tesla, it's not about holding forever because you've already had a bit of a long. You have to trade these trades. Each one's structured a little bit differently from the others. That's what you got to do. You trade what's in front of you. Don't trade previous profits. I mean, I should have on level 2 for you guys, but just saw like a tiny little bit of a dark pool kind of hold. So I saw it pop up to 02s and then saw a bunch of like D prints rip off and then slam back down. So I just took the quick scalp off there. I'm going to see if I can't hold the rest. I like a dip closer to 93s than VWAP, so we'll see what happens. But Tesla, a couple of longs that have worked out for me. I don't know, you just mentioned Boeing here, Brendan, and you said that 46. This is my bid. 246.20. I got to stop with these even dollar bids because it just went to 246.30. Is what it is. Now it looks like it's coming back to 247. If it bounces off a target like that, and he gets that close and starts ramping up, well, I mean, you picked it for a reason. So I'm going to go ahead and manually take this trade off. The market's starting to bounce a little bit here. It's been a good short in Boeing through 250. You don't want to look a gift horse in the mouth when it gives you those profits. And that's what you got to do, guys. So ultimately, we'll be out of this one. And then working back over to Uber, Saint Hubert, I don't know, whatever you want. If you're not Canadian, you're probably not going to get that, but better sauce than Swiss Chalet, in my humble opinion. Back up towards VWAP, so we'll go with this one for Uber, which has been good. I'm with you, Sean, but you know, I'm going to get, like, I'll get burned on NUAN, but like, keep in mind, I've been trading buyouts for like 15, 20 years, so I'm kind of always willing to dig a little deeper on those ones. I got absolutely crushed on NUAN today. It does feel like it's leveling off a little bit. I think the antitrust issues are probably what's holding it back. I think it's probably a bit overdone, but we'll see how that one plays out. It's certainly an active stock for sure, and moving the markets. Moving relative to the market, not relative to the market, but moving more than the overall market, which isn't usually the case when you have a cash buyout. Uber, next level is going to be that 60. I still am hanging on to a third of my shares here, but 60 is a round number and some resistance. I'll see if I can't get another leg off in front of it.
Yeah, buddy. Okay, so yeah, good talk there. We're $1 in the money on Uber as well, trying to let that one go as high as we possibly can. This keeps flying. After I just noticed when Neil got out that I actually got out on that 14 break. Normally I wait longer, so I'm not really sure what happened there, but whatever. We did get out there. That was a break on Afria, so that was a negative stock for us. Okay, so the only other position right now, we've been getting some out on Palantir, and I'm pretty happy with that because we've bought some 44s, bought some 33s, and now we're getting out in the 50s again on this move up, but it's still not super exciting to me. It's like not even moving. So if the opposite of exciting for Palantir, but this is good though, because if we can break above this 65, we'll see if it can continue to fly higher. So that's a good little level, I think, anyways, for us there. Whoops, on Palantir, so let's make sure to just cancel all of our orders. I have some in the high 50s, so let's wait to see if that gets filled. And then the other stock that we're waiting on right now, looks like it's probably going to go to the upside and break on us, but we've averaged into NEO. We've let the pain sort of subside a little bit by getting some out down here. You know, we did punch low there, average, so our average price right now is okay, but still a negative one for us. So if this does get to the high side, which it looks like it wants to go, it's resisting this 30. This is a good sign right here that it hasn't taken this out, but it's also a horrible sign that it hasn't reversed off of it. So we'll be patient a little bit longer with NEO. My out is going to be breaking through 40. So if that happens, we gone. What up, Brendo?
I just noticed NCLH mentioned UAL down 3.5%. Yeah, Norwegian 5%. So yeah, these reopening type plays not looking too good today. 29 holding right now as resistance for Norwegian, guys.
Oh yeah, we don't got CCL or anything.
Didn't even look at CCL or those, and usually, you know, we're going to do that. I just noticed, and thank you guys, whoever mentioned Roblox. Totally forgot about this one. And how many times did we like 71s? And it actually gave you like a 71.50 double bottom here. But breaking out once again, it still hasn't gotten to that 79 initial double top that it had in that first week of trading. So 75, a bit of a clear level at least now. You had that Friday high of 75 even. I did have that. Thank goodness I didn't eliminate that. But I like this 75 for a potential break. I just look at the way that it's traveled around this price. It's impossible for me to look at that flush it had failing 75, this ramp that it just put in here, and not take a short in front of it. I'll play it in both directions. You can have the breakout, but I can also round off that short with a definite level at 75 on Roblox. But certainly a big mover. Anyone that had that long, congratulations to you. It's been a good one for the last last week and a half, I should say.
Yeah, for sure. Okay, again, we took that CCL break at the bottom. Let's just see. The market's trying to go. We just averaged in. We'll give it up to 28 here and see if that one wants to go. We're just trying these plays out for you. I think it's a good one. CCL on the downside. I mean, this virus is getting worse, not better. So let's wait to see if that has any sort of implications there. I think with this market, I think we just should take out Uber right now. This is a nice win. We're right at that 50 level. So let's ring this one out if we can. Again, I don't know what's going to happen. There we go. Offer some 48s or 49s. There we go. Did we get those 49s? No, we did not, but we are. There we go. So there's the out at 49. So we'll finish that off. Big chicken dinner winners for me on Uber. Actually, is my #1 stock today, guys. Uber, just because we've been falling down. We'll have to wait on NEO. Uber, my #1 stock today. Loved this upside. Let's get out now. But now the market's going. So that was probably a bad move. I thought the market was going to come back down. So we'll wait on Uber. But we got to check out this CCL trade as we still are short that name.
The way I look at it, Sean, did you make money? If answer yes, it can't really be a bad move. Now, look, we're always trying to improve. That's what we're getting at here. And I kind of kid when I say that because you always want to do better. Should I have gotten more shares back into Tesla on the dip buy? Sure, 100% true. It is what it is. I mean, you get married to I keep saying the 87s on Tesla. You get married to that kind of a notion, and then when it consolidates at 91, I don't get any shares at 91. I don't get anything until it breaks 700 again. I got 750. Pretty much exactly here is my price, so that's kind of weird. You don't usually get those odd prices or even prices. I did scalp some out. It's trying to make the push through 705. Just remember, and we talked about this in the pre-market here, 720 I think can be resistance. If you go back 713 to 715 before you even get there, was a bit of a hard top. So if you play the breakouts and then look for those dip buys, which has been working for me better on Tesla, I almost have to consider taking this off if it gives me another $8 to $10 on Tesla. I think that's going to be the way to go, especially with a flat market. Lots of stocks moving. What we're trading is moving, but keep in mind, I mean, the ES is peeling off a 10 handle range off the open. Is that real? 10 handles? That's it?
Yeah, that seems like a lot. It seems like not too much. The NASDAQ, though, dipping down, resisting, now coming back to the upside. So we still, there it is. Okay, so NEO, we just got out of NEO there. I still like it to the downside. The market needs to go back. I do want to try this one more time. We did get busted on NEO. Flush ourselves down that toilet again as well. NEO not working out. What's up, Brendan?
When we were talking about it back on Friday, we'll get rid of that toilet. JKS down again today. Remember, they were coming off of earnings back on Thursday, so they reported Friday, big down day. It did end up closing back above some significant levels, but Jinko Solar back southbound again, guys.
See, that's the thing. We were looking for that one to be weak, and sometimes you have to. It's not just that first day. You look for that second, that third day, and I'm almost going to take Domino's Pizza off my quote board here because it's just doing absolutely nothing. I like this little round off that we're doing here in Jinko, though. So you get that fresh low, break. You had to sort of look at it as capitulation, and then trying to get back above that the 37.75. And now you can't be afraid to buy high and sell higher sometimes. And same thing goes with the stock, which is in a heck of a lot of trouble. So there's room in towards that low. Like I said, when it bounced back to the upside, I did want to fade the stock and had one on a little bit of a pullback, and then it just ran on me entirely too strong. And then you finally get the flush. So I do look at this little bottom at 35.50, and there is $1 worth of room. If it gives you a consolidation, then a breakdown, I don't have any trouble taking this. The chart looks awful. The earnings weren't good, and you can see them continuously under pressure. Even that 34 bottom break I have to consider. And when it comes to stocks that are weak, we tried to play an Afria. That's a 15. Let's not look at the execution on the 15. tried that little break, got some shares off in that pop at 50. I still hold on to it. I still got some here. If it can hold, the only way I'm going to add to it if it puts in a higher low back at 14. This is a failed breakdown at 14. If it cannot now re-hold that same level, I don't want any part of this trade. It's a very weak stock. You can see down 13%. Brendo?
Crazy mover from last week. Aero Century Corporation, remember ACY, just halted. $11 to $13.50 in one candle, guys. So volatility halt here for ACY.
Nope, nope, and nope. If you guys remember, I got caught in that one short right before it halted on one of its parabolic moves to the upside. That was not a lot of fun, to be honest, and guys. And that stock, very, very illiquid. Sean?
Yeah, just the Bears right now coming out hard on CCL. So this is a nice one. We make back what we're losing on some of these longs on this short. So a good trade there. It's stupid Neo, man. You can really honestly go somewhere and it's not nice because we get taken out basically right on that break. We understand that that break happened, so we just got back short defending that 50 level. I think my levels were fine. I'm going to get out on a VWAP break. I did give it a little bit more space. If we gave it to the ultimate 50 level, I'd still be in, but Neo now comes crashing back down to the downside. Probably worth taking, and I'm just so upset. And I'm not upset, but we just got stopped out too high there. Damn it, Neo, we were starting to make some profits. We liked it. There we go. Now now I get the 20s. This trade would be in the money now, but what are we going to do? Now to the downside. We'll see if it retests here and just make some money that way if we can. It's really good because CCL continues to be the mover to the downside that we'd hoped it would be. So this stock will continue to cash out here. 64, 65s, downside on CCL as the market continues to fall. Where can CCL go? I do not know, but let's have a quick look here at that's Neo chart. I like the 20 period just to give me some levels, longer time levels. I guess 2750 is coming soon on CCL. Then after that, if you got to hold for 27 because there's really no love between 2750 and 27. The last time we were here was pre-market back on the 5th, so it could fall through this level, but definitely 2750 the resistance spot. So let's get some more CCL out, and then we'll see what happens through 2750, but there could be some resistance there as it hasn't seen this level since back April 5th. And it was the pre-market, so don't know really what kind of size is there to defend it. But here's a nice little win for us. Yes, 19, 20 cents on CCL. We'll take it because we still got a decent amount of shares.
Yeah, I'm going to have to go with, we'll do the power up because, Uber probably, certainly behaving at least off that 59 level the best. It just got back to 60, broke through 60. I took some out the first time through, and now I'm still holding this position back to Tesla because that is starting to show some kinks in the armor. Chinks?
Both,
whatever.
It's fine.
It's both. You can use either one. It doesn't really matter. But it's starting to pull right back in here, and actually, I'm gonna flat this. Around that flat bat trade here as it broke back down around 700. The market is too range bound. It just has some feels to the weak side here, and I have a couple of longs that are, BAC's trying to hold at 40. I got Afria trying to hold as well, and then for Tesla, I've already taken some profit. Doesn't look like it's extending that move, and I want to be able to take a shot at this dips down to that VWAP around that 93, 94. Brennan?
Another one that was on the downgrade side of the board today. GameStop, guys, down 8%. Straight southbound here. It's trying to hold 142, but another one looking very weak. GME.
Yeah, and Palantir breaks that level, so we're just going to notice that breaking to the downside, pretty weak. I mean, again, we lost on it, but it could have been a hell of a lot worse if we didn't discuss getting some out here at 23, and then eventually, these are the buys, man. 44, 33, out 18, 19. It's a very, very small out there, very small hit, but it does resist off that 23. I'm waiting now until these levels. I talked about how weak this was today. It looks like we're going to give it all back, man. 2270 here. Watch out for those. Those are the key levels. If that breaks, then you got to get out. So, if you're still long Palantir, sorry, but wait on it if you're still long. We did take that out a little bit on Neo. It does dip down into the 10s again. Let's put another bid there. This is a 10-cent winner, and our CCL is a 15-cent winner. But, oh, man, realistically, Uber, monster stock for me today off the bottom. That was a good one. And then Afria, didn't even notice this drop, but it's coming back to 14. So this may be a long again here on Afria. But AMC down to 9 as well. So there's lots happening. AMC, you just talked about GameStop there, down 8, 9% there, Brendan. AMC looks to be down similarly, down 4, bouncing off 9. This may be a spot to pick some up as well, guys.
Yeah, and it does feel like I might have got shook. Ain't no such thing as halfway crooks on Tesla there. It took me out. I did hold on to a couple longs, and again, you hold on to the longs that you think are that you like, and maybe it's going to be the wrong way. Tesla's going to be my best stock regardless, but you got this test coming in here, and this is what I was sort of talking about in BAC. It never really gave me the entry I wanted right off that 40 area. It does bounce back to the teens. Now we're still basing out here at that 40 mark. I think this is now where I'm starting to pick up some more shares, and I've been very, very patient with BAC here, but I do think it's a good spot to try and pick up some more. So let's see if I can get some 03s, maybe some 02s as well. But this defense at 40 even, it's trying hard. But BAC, which one of many banks reporting earnings today, trying to hold up at that 40 after that break at 40.25. We talked about Plug Power. It did give that 30 break, but this is so similar to Afria. That was a big level. We talked about it when we were up at 31.50. You could see a test of that today. If it can't hold this, and we now get a break of the low of the day, I'm shorting 29.75 for sure. And you could put a stop back at 30. You could put your stop back at like 30.25, or sort of 30.25, 30.30. It's just a matter of risk tolerance, I think, at that particular point. You almost want to give it some more room, but look, if Plug doesn't hold this level, and we talked about it when we were doing our preparation here, and we talked when we got the upgrades and downgrades with Brennan at the desk. I just feel like the floodgates could open up a little bit, and they've already come down pretty heavily on Plug, but it's just too big of a level to ignore. So I'm going to throw my stop through that low of the day break, and if we can hold it, it's similar to Afria, but I'd rather play the long there. Brendo?
We saw this green box pop up last week, G-Box. They're talking about a Charge Savvy acquisition. This is a blockchain-related software company. So G-Box, I just noticed, big volume coming in here, guys. Starting to rip to the upside. Remember, this thing had a big move last week as well.
Yeah, I remember that G-Box for sure. Okay, so we did try Palantir one more time through 25. So let's wait. I'm going to give this one to 23. Breaks it, and we'll be done, and then we will finally wait for that 22.50 level. Man, we're just going to try it. I mean, the NASDAQ started to go. We've seen Palantir find bottoms before and take off. So this one, for me, worth it. Again, find out what your pocketbooks are like, because this could dip again. We haven't taken, it's going to be my worst stock today by far. Not by far, it's close. Nuance is bad, Neo is bad. But Palantir, we're going to give it one more shot here. It seems to be dead today. Obviously, it's down 4%. Tick, 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 boom. But sometimes there is an opportunity to get going. It's happened before on Palantir off drops, where we found a bottom and taken off again. Like right here, we took off a little bit. We took off early here, but struggling right now, Palantir. One last shot at it, and then we'll see what it gives us. Upside moves on Palantir. CCL, we're getting out of this one. We've basically got out of everything. Now I might get out of it all, as I do think the market looks like it wants to rebound here. So no point in sticking around on CCL. There it is. We'll take some more out. Nice average, beautiful short. We cleaned up on this one. So now let's hold small and see what happens to the upside of CCL here. I think we should just get out. It's been a profitable trade for us. We're really just relying right now on Palantir and hoping that that one can take off a little bit if the NASDAQ goes. So right now, this is really my focus. Palantir, waiting to see what it does at 23. It's been a nasty one, but hey, we can afford a couple hits.
Yeah, and we'll go with this one because I know we were both trading Uber here. It just tried. Look, this is that pre-market level here at 60.50 off the open. It tried to get to 60.50, and it just touched that level again before coming back in. And the reason why I like it, and I took some profit off, because we can have a 61 break, which is sort of upcoming here to the upside. So there's always a breakout. There's always a dip back down into 60 even. But I'll take the trade. And again, this is sort of what we're getting at with that 61 level. And that's why I wanted to show you taking that profit. So on the daily, it's clearly another level at 61. That does give us a couple of options. Like I just said, one will be dipping back down into VWAP or 60 even to get back into position, or simply taking the 61 break. Afria is about to defend 14 even. This is going to be my stop. It's got to hold the higher low. I'm not giving that one to the low of the day.
Okay, so finally, it looks like Neo may give us the move down that we're looking for finally. We're short at 43. It's starting to come down a little bit here for us. So a good trade on Neo. We got to get out. We're short 43s, back to the downside now. It hasn't been a good stock for us. You guys know that. We smashed the 37. Thank God we were able to get some out. We took this average ahead of this level. It broke VWAP. We got out. Resisted that 50 break, so get out, get back in. Now we're going to see if it rolls lower and lower and lower right now. We are ready for our small cap recap with Brendan. Give us some names here, bud.
Hey guys, small cap time. We'll actually start with a mid cap because small caps are very quiet so far today. I'm going to talk about Afria. negativity coming into the 15.5, kind of 15 area on the daily chart, clear support, but wasn't able to hold that. So we're all the way down to 14 now. Just trading pure momentum through that break at the open on Afria to the downside. We saw that conference call note come through, adding a little more negativity to that one. So Afria was good if you were on the short side today. I mentioned this one right before the open. PT, little Chinese company. Top end of this was 160, and then I said 170 above that. Obviously didn't come anywhere close to even testing those levels, all the way down to 130. It's a little more of a liquid stock, not going to move as much, but you can, size your position accordingly. Ears, the other one, chased this one a bit through this 510 break, down to 460 now, but this 550 level at the top end of the range from the pre-market this morning. Write that down, 550, a big level for EARS, guys.
Yeah, hey, that's the exact level that I wrote down, 550. Did it actually, I don't know, I just wasn't watching that actually. Okay, it does not. It got that high. We did have the ears. I think I still have that 550 level in. So, wow, that came really close to screwing me over again, taking a breakout off the open. Glad we didn't do that one. So, 550, a big level there for ears. We will wait for that. 465 on the downside. Afria, probably one that we should look at again as, conference call, etc., earnings play, and not really moving. That's ears again. But bouncing off 14 again, it looks like Afria. So this could be a good trade here, breaking 14.17 high side.
Yeah, I mean, this is the defense that I put in here, and I'm going to throw some. I still have an offer up there in the 70s, but I got to throw some back in front of VWAP here at that 14.30, just in case you get a bit of a bounce. And let's zoom in because some of those pre-market prices don't really matter at this point. Got to throw some bids, some offers in here. We did pick some up in front of 14. It did make that bounce, so that's what we kind of wanted to see. We waited to add back in until it made that bounce, and now we've got it. BAC, which is the other one here, holding for the time being, still holding that 40 level. So the breakout at 40.20 showed you that level on the daily chart. It gave you a little bit of profit up there. Waited until we got some real consolidation off that 40 area to dig back into some shares here. So BAC, we're going to hang on to that long. I have had this Clover the entire time. So you're going to see, where are you here, Clove? I got one reload at like $7.95 on that reload. Every single short side trade had been over that $8 range before. It's still holding $7.75 as the bottom. So not really giving me more than 15, 20, 25 pennies at absolute best. And not as weak as I thought, but hey, it's trending to the downside, down 4%. This was a play from last week, of course. Brendan?
Starbucks, I just saw somebody talking about Starbucks there in the chat. It was on the upgrade side of things today. For S-Bucks, but volume very much lacking in my opinion so far. Heads up around this 114 above us. Definite levels here on the daily chart for Starbucks, guys.
And if it's lacking in Brendan's opinion, then it's lacking in my opinion. So we'll stay away from Starbucks for a little bit. So we just took out some NEO. That's fine. I just put an order. I'm not going to go short anymore. I wonder if this NASDAQ has possibly touched down here at 13,750. We didn't have a rune today, but that's kind of been a decent level, 13,750. We rip up right now to 13,800. So that's right where we are. Again, these even levels, some of these just make sense. So let's wait to see. I'm just wondering if this move is done right now for NIO. We'll wait. I mean, no idea. Palantir, though, shoot. Keeps on moving in the wrong way. You know what else is moving in the wrong way? What the hell is wrong with DraftKings? DraftKings down 5+% today. .NQ. Wow, no idea about this stock. This was not even on my radar this morning, DraftKings, and now today it's like one of the worst performing names here that I can find. Down 5%. Really, I wonder if it's on nothing. We're well below this VWAP right here. I love DraftKings. Again, it was built up. I did take some off in the 70s. We talked about that when that had happened. Too many tops up here, but was definitely not really expecting this break through a VWAP. There must be some kind of news, and whenever there's some kind of news, I always say, what up, Brendan?
Yeah, I did notice that DraftKings down significantly. The only thing of note, they came out and said they're going to report May 7th. They didn't say one way or the other whether it was going to be good or bad, but May 7th, officially earnings day for DKNG. Wanted to mention this as well, guys. Silvergate just popped up on volume through to 178. So SI, Bitcoin not moving though. So SI going on its own, guys.
Yeah, one of those, I guess, it's Coinbase week, so maybe the crypto bank, as you call it. And there goes Afria. Well, do this for Afria because I can never seem to find my wee Batman, but it just broke that 14 even, so it gives us a scalp into 1450, which maybe I should have been more aggressive taking some shares out on, but I didn't. I just want to point out this lower high on Silvergate here at 176, and like it is what it is. I mean, this is a stock where I can put the hands up and say way too early to have sold it off. And so it is what it is. I have no idea if it's going to give you a reasonable shot to get back into the long side. I mean, you can always just hold. You can always just hold crypto directly, but this has been an unbelievable performance, defied my expectations. If it gets to that top, we're still holding about 60,000. I feel like if it gets to that top and we've pulled back, and I'm talking about the spot price of Bitcoin in general, I gotta feel there's gonna be a fade in this thing at 187. So it is getting rather close to that price. First things first, it does have to hold a consolidation off that lower high at 176, which it's trying to do. And the spread, here's the spread on this stock just now, 2 seconds ago. $1.50 spread. So this is what I mean. It has to hold consolidation above 176. There isn't even a bid above that breakout price. And that's the thing about just looking where stocks print. Are there prints at 177? Yes. Is there anyone bidding above 176, that previous lower high? Not really. So understand what the spread is for the stock you're trading, because it's going to give you an idea of risk and reward. And that's why it's not always the best day trade in the world, that Silvergate, but a great stock to swing in though.
Yep, Silvergate, good news there. And yeah, as Bitcoin goes, you're going to watch out for that. Again, I saw that news on DraftKings. Like, so they announced their date. Like, I'm not speechless. I don't even know what that means. And often you don't get me speechless looking at a stock. So I'm going to stay away from DraftKings and just want to let you guys know that didn't impress me much there. Oh, is that Shania Twain? Don't impress me.
That is Shania.
Yeah, Shania Twain. What up to Canada? I guess Neil, yeah, it looks like Neil. I mean, we're going to recalculate. I thought Xander would have put. Did Greg get
by the way, I'm saying that I won because Brendan did some math and said that I won the pool. So I didn't actually confirm it myself.
It was total money, right? My guys, I mean, Justin Thomas triple bogeyed on Saturday, so that was nothing there. He was in it and then out of it real quick. But yeah, good look there. Xander, it was basically just your collection of guys. Morikawa, everything wrong.
All four scored.
They all cashed, right? So, okay, GameStop right now, 142. It's still making moves down. So we have to see what's going on with GameStop. We've talked about that one over and over again, but still making a move to the downside. It just bounced off 140, so down 9-10% here is GameStop today. Not looking pretty for holders of this name, but again, I mean, I don't know where anybody's in at nowadays. So GameStop looks like it bounced off 140. This is probably a decent little opportunity here if you did like this name to break back above side now, and you have a 140 downside. So $2 risk to get back to here might be worth it. $5 on the upside. If you like GameStop, you could pick it up here like 141 and change, and then use this 140 as an out. You dip down, and we have a couple bottoms there, so 140 looking to hold on GME, guys.
And just barely holding. You get this snap, and this is what you kind of look for. And I'm going to take some more shares in BAC, and I'm going to show you why here. Here was the 40 level. This is the breakdown. It goes below. You always look to see that offer trail. Reverse of what we just saw in Silvergate, right? So you saw like the no bid above when it broke out. This is what happened the first time, down to 39.96. The offer was sort of trailing down. Sorry, the offer wasn't really trailing down, but the bid got there. Same thing has happened there at that 40 even again. So I like that for price area. It usually gives you some confidence in that price. I'm going to double down on it. That's just my take. Again, you can hold the shares you have, but I like those fill breaks to the downside. The market is not exactly screaming in one direction or another. So I do feel like if you like a stock, you like something you want to dig in on. It didn't work in Afria, but that was bad news. BAC is basically flat on the session, so if we can hold here, even VWAP would be solid. I'd much prefer back to those quarters. Brendan?
All right, 10:30, guys. Keep in mind, we started last week, but for anybody wondering, yeah, we're coming back again this afternoon. Make sure you join us this afternoon, 3:15. We'll take you through the fastest 45 minutes on YouTube, according to Sean, into the close. So every day we're back. Keep in mind, 3:15 to 4 p.m. Let's get a check real quick on what is happening over in Europe. There's an hour left in the session over there. What's up, Dee?
Hey, Brendan, European markets are mixed after record highs last week. Diagnostics group Dassarin is up almost 10% after it said it will acquire US-based Luminex for $1.8 billion. Back to you.
The other end of the Luminex deal, guys.
Yes. Okay, and no, as we get Palantir on our mind. This stock, honestly, man, like if this goes, it's going to be a complete day changer, but right now, we're still waiting for it to defend that 23. We picked some up at 11 at 08 there on that defense. So now we'll get out of a little bit here if we can. 17, 18s, 19s, as it has bounced up for absolutely no reason from what I can see. So let's take a little bit of advantage of that. We are long right here, 21. So right now, you know, we're just trying to lick the wounds a little bit, like we were doing up here. I'm gonna let this go. Don't get me wrong. Like I'm not going to get out. Like, if we can get back, I want to hold for these areas here, 40s and 50s. So that's what I'm talking about. But you could see it's pretty weak. Like any kind of bump up, we will try to take some out. If I can get some out at the quarters, that'd be great. But here it comes, man. We're still pushing to the downside as the futures right now looking to break. Palantir, like it has a hard time going up and absolutely no problem coming down. You see these big, like there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 straight minutes of down candles, relieved by one, and then a couple more, and then more, like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, forget about that, 8, 9, 10. There's like, again, more. And what am I doing? Buying. So Palantir looks like it wants to take out the bottom again. So pretty good move getting out, it looks like anyways, on some of those bottom picks there. So yeah, not going good for us right now. Palantir still making moves to the downside.
Yeah, and we talk about weak stocks. BC's trying to hold again. I got more shares in that, so 40.05 is my price. Give it to that opening range. I know it's been lower in the pre-market, but here comes Plug Power right to that bottom, that 29.70, now holding below 30 even. So still have the stops to break lower on this name. It's down 7.5%. There's always room to go. In this market, starting to turn a little bit to that downside, and I have to be wary of that. And one of the weakest names, like, has been Plug, of course, and we showed you on the daily chart just how key a level that is. It might turn out that I could have held on to that Tesla break, maybe gotten like $3 or $4 in the second half of that. But you know, when you're long on a break at the top like this, I just didn't want to give it all the way back. It is now possibly testing back into, and just remember in that first move that we had, that 687 to 690 area long. It stalled out right here at 95, and that's the turn that we got. I was sort of talking about that. The first turn it made off of 700, we get some out. If it does try to bounce that to VWAP, seems like it would be the place, but with this market looking weak, I don't know that I want to jump in front of that sword. BAC right at the bottom here, guys. So you get these bottom picks. We're trying to test it. This one going to have to add it to the list. NUAN is stunk. BAC is going to be another loser if it breaks that low of the day. Clover good, Tesla good, Uber good, but some of these names here like Afria, I wish I'd hung on to Boeing, by the way. Some of these names like Afria couldn't hold the line. Boeing made another secondary push down to that 246.20. So if I just left my original bid in, I would have captured the extra dollar to that short trade. It's now come back to VWAP and also not flushing, but resisting as well. So I know the market's not moving a ton, but it is leaning to that weak side. So I'm not digging into any more longs. You've got the BAC long. I've got that Clover. I have a couple of buyouts that I'm looking at as well. But now it's more of that patience game, guys, showing a little bit of patience with the way the market is going here. And as Sean already mentioned, I get the weird feeling, and I could be wrong about this, but I get the weird feeling that this could be a more active close than we're used to. Just the way this is starting off, especially if we start to break down here and actually get a bit of a flush. You've seen on those big sell days, Sean, sometimes you get these monster pullbacks or pushbacks in the afternoon. So if this turns into a big sell day, watch out for that 315 show. I have an odd feeling that we could be finding some interesting long positions if this market rolls over any further than it already has.
Yep, and I'm hoping so as well. Unfortunately, Palantir broke again, so the chart's going to look nasty. But what's not looking nasty right now is NEO. You know, we did get hit there, but we took the short again. You know, made back a decent amount of money. It's still going to be a negative stock for us. But NEO now, there's that, you know, short, out, and we just took some out there again at 36.90. So there's a decent out for us on NEO. We're holding now we're holding half of what we had there, but still would wish it was more shares. Falling back down, we identified NEO as a weak stock. We just should have identified Palantir as a weak stock as well, because that did break, and of course we did get back in. But I don't know. I think we're going to have to wait to see if it takes this out 23.30 to be precise. If it does that, then fine. But it's just been like straight to the downside. No more averages in unless we get to that very, very bottom of 22.75. We'll wait now for 23. 30 break. I know that sounds ridiculous, but maybe we might have just made the bottom there. And obviously, if we break 30, then I think we could retest view up. So we could make back that 40 cents. Like each one of these are small cuts, but they just add up, right? You keep on gouging the same wound, and eventually it bleeds out of control. But so we're going to stop the bleeding on this one, and then now wait for a serious position until we get to that very, very bottom. Don't know if that's coming anytime soon, though, on NIO or on Palantir. We're going to wait for that. Microsoft's just been dancing all day. Like, it hasn't done anything. We picked up a great long there. We picked up another long there at 255. We haven't let anything go against us here on Microsoft. Well, this, I guess, was a little bit. That was so fast, couple minutes. Now we're starting to break down, though. So you got to watch out. I don't love Microsoft because that nuanced deal doesn't seem to be doing anything for anybody right now. So we're going to wait on that name. And then, of course, Afria. We were long, we took a little bit of profit, got long again, it dumped out, and now we're gonna wait for this 14.15 to break. It's only 10:36, so a lot can still happen. We'll check back on Ford and GM, but right now, I don't really, I mean, the market's not doing too much. I mean, sure, I'm excited for, you know, what's to come, but right now, not much happening. Oh, wow, AMC, we gave you that one earlier when we were looking at GameStop and said, wow, AMC's still holding up, but right now, cracking AMC. What is this level? 875 on AMC here, guys.
Yeah, and sometimes you go back to like the roots here. And I'm just gonna hit the whiz. As Sean calls it, the whiz here. You can call it stacking cash, whatever. The king, we'll call it the whiz. And then Clover, been in this one all morning long. It finally broke that shelf at 780. I got some shares out at 775. I got some bids in here all the way down. This is a real flush, down to 750. I already talked about that last time we saw it. 100% taking profit in front of it if we get that chance. I might hold on to some shares just because, oh, thank you for daily chart not working, but I'm just going to show you why. I'm going to hold on to some shares, 750, because if that breaks, you do have room down to 700. Just, again, you get these post-breakout style trades with a big-time runner last week. Showed all kinds of weakness, you know, for the short trade, at least on Friday. And then, you know, this morning, couldn't hold up that 8 level. So couldn't hold up at these levels, couldn't break back upside to 850, which I probably would have faded anyways. To be honest, I would have been shorting that level if it got to 850 on a separate trade. But it gives me what I wanted, so we'll go ahead and take it. I can tell you we finally, and so for the first time ever, not the first time ever, the first time in a couple of days here, Roblox on the move again, and it just broke that 75. It's trying to continue. It got to like 75.50 here. But snapped right back in. That was a big level on Friday. That was a bit of a failure. So you want to see it consolidate. It's finally actually broken out here. I got 75.01s, and we talked about that top at 79 that it had on the daily chart. So, I mean, I think there's that much room. I think you definitely have to give it at least back to like $1 on Roblox if you think you're going to make that 2-3 average win on RBLX. But great run if you had it this morning. But like I said, you know, I'm also looking for that 75, which we finally just got.
Yeah, my kid, I just told the wife there for my kid to check out Roblox, as he'll be super happy with that performance for sure. We'll wait to see on Roblox. Yeah, he's been averaging into that position there. Okay, and he's 9. Okay, Palantir here, we finally, this is it. This is the last straw, say 2. Actually, that's not true. I do have another bid. 22.75 is going to be the last straw. So we'll put, shoot, like it tries to go and doesn't go. I thought maybe that might have been it. We did pick up some 91s there, and then it went up to us for, you know, about O's, 02, 03 there in the same minute. But right now we are just hanging on by a thread now with Palantir. So that's going to be a dangerous one for me for the rest of the day, I feel, and that just is what it is. But oops, that's the wrong stock. That's Microsoft. Boring. I'm not interested. But Neo, like if I just would have held all these smashed shorts, this would be my #1 stock. It's going to be Uber though today. I did see someone say that Uber is rating your view up. We will have a second look at that one, as it's been a good name today. Yeah, there it is. It broke through view up, but it's holding these levels. So these are good levels here. 59.50 looks like a good one to hold on Uber. So definitely some potential there. So let's get ready to watch this one. I'm going to try to get some Uber longs, 59.50. That seems good to me, guys. 59.50 long on Uber, just in case we get that bounce back. Woo, wow, it's been an exciting morning to say the least, man. I already have 140 fills, a little too many for my liking. Let's go over to the big screen here and see what sectors are popping off.
Hey guys, yeah, let's have a look at what is leading the market so far to the downside. About 0.25% for the overall S&P in negative territory. We'll start off with Some of the reopen type trade, as we were talking about, a little bit negative in the pre-market. We're seeing that follow through now. All the cruise lines, yeah, anywhere from 3.5% to 5% for CCL. It was Norwegian that was leading originally, but CCL now 5% to the downside. Hotels are here as well. MGM, there's Wynn. LVS as well in negative territory. So watch out for some of the travel names. We did have Tesla, though, 3.8% to the upside, helping this group overall, but still in negative territory. The tech sector all to the downside today as well. 5.9% there for IPGP. Financials, healthcare, consumer stocks as well, all basically break even. They were higher initially, but coming back to the downside, there are individual names here, individual banks as well in the financial sector, all in positive territory, but only just, not huge moves. Again, earnings coming up on Wednesday. Industrial stocks also in negative territory. Real estate, communication services, energy, worth noting, still positive, 1% plus move for oil. Guys, we're lower, but only 0.3% for the S&P. Back to you.
And you are seeing that rollover happening now in the NASDAQ. I'm going to show you the futures, guys, if we can here. One chart frozen, but here's that breakdown finally happening over on the NASDAQ. And of course, all I got is a stupid clover to the south side. BAC's looking to break that bottom. I got the Roblox to the long. And then I saw a couple of people mentioning this one, and it's like, now you go, I don't got you. This time, I had a short at 1 when it broke on sundial the first time. I then had a short at 97.5 when it broke back to the upside. That stunk. And we're finally back below, so I should say finally. I mean, it is what it is. We're back below that dollar again. So another dollar break and another defense. Worth noting, there was some buying in front of that 90 even area. So I do think if it finds a bit of a level here, guys, you got to watch out that it could pull another one of those bounce backs. It just feels like the second time through in a weaker market. It might be worth a quick look here, at least for me, to be short through that 90 even break. And if it tests one again, I'd likely try to get 98 half, 99s instead of the price we got last time. I like to defend that $1 range. So I am watching sundial, just got no position, unfortunately.
Yeah, we'll be back at the close, guys. Make sure you join us at 3:15. We'll be back, and hopefully the market will be upside by then, and hopefully some of our positions will have turned around. For Alibaba, I'd love to go long right now, but right now I'm just dug in to Palantir, which has been a shit show, just straight to the downside now. So we'll take one more long, and then if it breaks through 275, then unfortunately these days are going to happen, and I'm going to take here it comes. Yeah, look at that. I mean, we are now getting like accelerated big time now to the bottom. You see the NASDAQ starting to go. I don't know if there was news right there or anything, but Palantir just continues to make that move to the downside. Our last average was just filled there at 83, and it's ripped right downside there. So Palantir is going to get murdered right now, it looks like. So our last try right now, we'll see if we get any love back to the high side there. Does not look like it has this market just falling through. The good thing we have, and it doesn't matter because it's a small piece compared to Palantir, but we do have some NEO, which at least that one we identified as a short today. We've been only playing shorts. These are all shorts. We've had no longs on NEO today, only playing the short. Now it's at 36.70, so I feel good about it, but it doesn't really matter because right now all my worries is with Palantir and trying to hold that 75 level.
Yeah, and I'll go with the poop show in Roblox. Roblox tries to break out. No, it's a New York stock. It should be an NASDAQ. It feels like it should be a NASDAQ stock, but it actually just whipped me out there. I get the breakdown. Could I have taken, you could have made this a scalp trade and taken like 30, 40 cents. That was not really the look I was going for with the break on that 75. So we take it, we give it that buck. It's going to go against us here. Thought there was like a 2.5, 3 to 1 win to loss ratio on there. And now I'm just sort of sitting around in that clover position to the short side. It's one of those where, again, if we do get that flushed even further, fine, but I got that bid in front of 750. It's like an $8 average price short that I have on. So if you're not happy taking 4, 5, 6% on a stock like this, you probably shouldn't be trading it in the first place, especially if you're shorting it. Berendo?
This Murdoch MUDS, you remember last week, this was the natural gas play. It's a SPAC, first off, but volume coming in here. On MUDS again, as we took out the highs there, they're combining two smaller companies into one to create this new company with a merger in the SPAC, guys.
Wasn't MUDS
Which one was MUDS? I thought that was... I thought that was,
am
yeah, it was top.
No, you are.
Right?
You're right. Sorry, my bad.
Okay.
Yeah, that's okay, guys. Finally, yeah, so that's the top zone. That's the NFT situation there. So either way, good look there, Brendan. Up that 6%. We're trying. I mean, we're not walking on water to celebrate this Palantir. We're just saying, can this name finally get going to the high side? I believe it has a chance here. So let's just wait. I don't know. There's that 75 bottom. I'm going to, and right now we're just like patching up some of these wounds now, trying to get long. We're trying to get out of some of these longs. I saw how violently that touched down there, like that almost got us out, and it would just be such a destruction there if I had got out and then it ripped to the high side. So I'm gonna make sure to get a little bit out here, still trying to hold like everything basically, but understanding that, hey, this NASDAQ could easily turn back around and then this thing gets flushed. So I don't wanna make a bad situation even worse. So we are getting a little bit out on the upside. We're flat now. I mean, this has always been my position, 22.88. We averaged in here at 92 and then we averaged at 82. So, you know, you put that price right in the middle. These are the only longs we've taken. So our average price is right now is right here. Like, well, you can see it on the board. What does it show? 87, 88. Yeah, so that's my average price. Just trying to like lick some wounds here, but we are waiting for that 70 to break. And if it does, man, we're gonna get out. Like I hate that the NASDAQ now bouncing and Palantir isn't. Like if we took anything else long off that bottom, we'd probably be huge, including Uber, I'm guessing. Well, not really, that didn't move that much.
I want to get to ears for a second here. So it just came off the bottom. And look, obviously it made like 1, 2, 3 attempts to 550. You can see that pretty clearly and flush downside. Now it's trying to get back above here. If we hold VWAP to the upside, I'm usually going to say, okay, nothing until I short that 550, wait for the absolute top. But if it does make a bit of a turn, cannot hold this breakout. I'm looking for like 490, 495 that I would pick a short on. It's about patience, I think, at this particular time of the day for me, at least. I do love to still have the clover. Someone was asking for, I think it was D-Train was asking for like Nuance. I've taken like 2 big longs on Nuance and got smoked, right? So I do trade buyouts on the side a lot, but this one's very, very different. Does feel like it made a 53 bottom. It has, but I almost want to wait until like maybe afternoon to make a better play on that. It's ears that has my attention, at least in the short term, as it's making a bit of a battle between 5 and 510. There's plenty of liquidity on this name, volume just churning through. You're going to see like the bot's having a lot of fun with this. And I don't want to touch it in this particular range. I want to see it either break down, in which case I can maybe take a little bit of a short because I know where my stop is going to be in that 505, 510 area. But if it holds to the upside, I'm waiting for 550 all day. I think it makes if it can hold that 510 area, I think it makes a bit of a break towards that top. And I like those jail breaks to the high of the day when some shorts have already been squeezed out. Not a bad entry point. And then I'm going to come to BAC. That was one of those like mixed result type trades. Got the break, it was fine. You can see try to pick some shares up there, fail break through 40, pick some more shares up there at 40, and then it takes out the low. So might have to wait for the earnings on some of the banks to see that strength. Essentially flat on the day for BAC despite finally breaking that 40-20 level.
Like, I have no idea what just happened there because like we ripped up on Palantir into the 96. Like we went to 96 there on Palantir just a couple seconds ago, which I was like, oh, there it is. Like, look at that. Oh, no, sorry, 94, 93 and change. 90. So I don't know, man. We're going to put another order upside. It's starting to go a little bit. This is the largest position I've had on, so we can get another little piece out. I'm offering those 93s. Like, wasn't expecting. Let's take a 91. What the hell? So there we go. We'll take some 91s there. Now we're going upside to 92. We're long 87. This is, I have to wait for it. So let's now wait. We'll get some 93s because that's where we stopped. Hopefully we get printed there. Did we just get printed? Yes, we did. So yes, we can. Here we go. Let's see if it can make us a little bit of money back as it's trying here. Palantir trying to make money off the bottom. Again, just putting that money in our pocket now. We've taken a beating on this name. So let's just sort of ease it out. If we can, go back to the upside on Palantir. Like, we can make it all back if we get to VWAP, but I won't be holding that many shares if we get back there, that's for sure. But it does have that chance. Let's see what it does. Let's get out a little bit more now. Like, I'm just, this is fine. Like, 96s are fine. Like, we're long 86. So we put a dime in our pocket. All of these hits are bad. We're not going to make it back. But now, all we're doing now is just, admitting that we were wrong on Palantir. Now let's see if we can hold it a little bit for the long side. And you guys know where my outs are. Let's just see if it holds. That is Palantir trying to make moves just in the nick of time as we go over to Brendan for MT Money Talks.
Michael Top.
Hey guys, yeah, crypto's talking today. Let's talk about Ripple. That's a daily chart of XRP. We are at $1.37 right now and change, obviously, for XRP. But yeah, this was that move Sean was talking about over the weekend. Huge push to the upside again today. 28% for Ripple. Back to that 137 as we were talking. 3.25% here for Ethereum. Nice look as well, back over 2,100 for Ethereum, holding above 60,000 for Bitcoin. Did get up to about 60,200 and change, but you can see we're back here about 100 right now. Everything else pretty muted, not a heck of a lot happening as far as global currencies are concerned. There is a little bit of underlying US dollar strength coming back into the market, but no real headlines, guys. The Canadian dollar notably 79.5 again. Back over to you.
79.5. Okay, Canadian dollar. I want to look at GameStop. I haven't watched it too much today, but if it rounds out, if you see it rounded off a level like this, big flush up to that 110. You guys know about that. I'm sure you watched that second day bounce when it doubled up. On the way down, there was a level at that 140, 141 area, and that's exactly what you're sort of seeing here. The battle being waged at the same price, coincidentally down 10% as well. So you get that short sell restriction in play. It just broke 140. Stalled out at 139, is now holding above that 140. So it's again that break of a key level and then holding right back to the upside. I've seen GameStop do this before. If it holds the bottom, not necessarily like an all-in type trade, but worth it from a risk reward to get back to VWAP. So I like this consolidation above the 140 higher low, Miss V.
Hey Neil, Invesco company investment one is up more than 1%. Could you give us a quick review of IVZ ticker?
Invesco? Okay, we'll have a quick look there. I'm going to get my order in on GameStop there, and I also have to let you guys know that we did break back below 5 on ears, so I am looking to get into that position if I can. This is over on the New York, I think. Come on. Flip. No, it's Amex. Load. No. Yes. Finally. Okay, it finally does. And of course, my frozen there on Invesco. So bit of a mist of a breakout. Very, very solid, boring name. This is an investment. This is not really a day trade. It is what it is, guys. If you're looking at this fund, fair enough. I'm not sure exactly what you guys are looking for here. Yes, I did actually break my chart, and I have to get my order over there in ears because it's starting to go. Just give me, you know what? I got to go trade first. This is usually what we try. I always get into talking and not actually executing the trade, and I might have just missed my entry point into ears, which will not load. Let's go. It just came up back to that 5, so back down to that 5 even area, and I was sort of saying I wanted to see it come back down. This is what happened when I was trying to get you that chart on IVZ, which kept freezing. 490 to 495 was the target area of that consolidation. It just went in there, and I just missed that trade a couple of times. I'll sit around here if I can't keep my orders at that 90 to 94, and then see if we can't get this position. But I wanted to see that break above 5. Once it couldn't hold VWAP, I wanted to play that weakness. If it had held, I would have waited till it got up to that 550 area, maybe like a 35 to 40 short before it tested that top. But if it consolidates, we'll continue to play the weakness on this name. Well, not continue to play. Let's look for the weakness on that name below VWAP here. But I did miss that short 90 to 95. I was trying to get it.
Let's check out. Yeah, I'm still waiting for that 550 top. I'm going to try to give it to that. I mean, I don't know if that's going to go or not. That is ears. As I just look on the board, I'm trying to find some other names that are possibly moving in a direction that I agree with to trade. You know what? Like, okay, fine, Palantir. Fine. I'll take some out at O's there. It just ripped to 99s and O's. We just took another piece off. So, yeah, just you could see tick, 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 tick. Now I'm going to wait. I keep saying that, but look at the futures. Like, that was a big move up, and even though this is only 15 cents, it's made back. You know, I mean, I don't know. I've made back a decent amount here. Like, I've made back about 20% or so of the loss just on this position alone here right now. So I'm debating, like, you know, what do we do with this? But there we go. I mean, the more I sit down, the more I go into my like scalping mode, which I don't think I need to be doing that right now with this name. I think we have Palantir now. It looks like, I mean, the first time ever today that we basically based and held. We based here for a while, man, like 23.40. You know, we were basing out here for a bit, and then it couldn't resist, and then it just all the way down. It couldn't find its footing at all on the way down. And then finally, I'm thinking here 80s, 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 and that we know that we have Palantir. This is a NEO long term because we were just looking at that one, but we know on the 20-minute here that we do have some Palantir love. See, and then there it goes again, back to the downside. We do know that it has some Palantir love right around here, man, like 75, 78. So whether or not we have the bottom, I don't know. But again, like just to make back some money, we still have a long day ahead of us. We're going to be back at 3:15. We're always busy in the middle of the day, so unless something really does happen, I generally tend not to trade too much between like 1 and 3 as we prepare more content and we get a few things going for you guys. But hey, look, I hate talking about the same stock over and over again, but I do think now with this Palantir spot, we may have just found the bottom. As I just said, we're making back that money now, so really happy with the way that's turning out. I don't know if you have anything like big on right now, Neil, but I'm not seeing too much.
So I mean, and when it's a morning like this, where it's like, okay, like I've actually traded more symbols than normal. That's like 100% true, but I'm trying to hold off. I mean, I'm holding Clover, which is not going anywhere, and then I got this ears, and you know, I'll do a little scalping on a couple of buyouts. But it's just I was waiting for that ears position, sort of regrettably missed it the first time through. I do actually get the shares I want, guys. So I end up with a 94 average. It gives you this like secondary push. And this is literally blind luck. Like, if I'm looking for this to break down off of VWAP and it comes into that range, this is where I'm trying to catch it, right? Because if it starts to go right back down into that lower band in the 80s to 75 to 80 range, where my second profits are going to be taken, you miss out on the trade completely. It does a little bit of a pop right after I was sort of complaining about the fact that I missed it, so I am back into position. I start scalping like 5, 10, 15 cents. You guys kind of know that. So when I get a 93, 94 entry price, I'm likely going to have some out in those mid 80s. That's why I took some shares at 87 here, and I got bids down in front of 80. I got bids in front of 75. If it tests at 465, that's ears, of course. Let's keep in mind this was pre-market lows before it had that ramp off. So, I like this price in consolidation area here. You're going to see that's going to also coincide with the aftermarket tops on Friday. I like multiple points of, I guess, convergence or confidence around a price level. That's what we got here with ears. And then Clover just doing its own thing. I do want to come back to Tesla because it's likely, I don't know. We'll see if it ends up being the top stock of the day. I like the dip a lot better when it was 90s and 93s, then comes back in and tests this 95, 96 area, starting to ramp off again. Now keep in mind, if it takes out 705, we had 713 and 720, some possible targets when I did have that long at 701. So if the market gets strong again, I do think we got a shot here looking for a potential 705 break. I don't know why I didn't get another fill there. I should have gotten, yeah, there we go. No, I did get another fill there on ears. So I don't know, we'll hit the, whatever we're calling this thing. For ears. And again, this was not like I wasn't trying to really ignore the question, but I was like in the middle of trying to make this trade here on the short side and then trying to talk about why, if you're looking at Investco, it's not the sexiest stock. I mean, let me buy and hold. There's nothing wrong with that, but I don't see a day trade ever in that thing, to be honest with you guys. Investment management company? Whatever, fine. But ears coming down to that bottom. I already told you where the bids were. You just saw them get filled there. So if it gets to that 465, I do anticipate a bit of a bottom at that price. I would only ever hold through like 10 to 15% through a low like that. I think if you're scalping a small cap stock and you're trying to hit home runs bigger than that, I mean, I don't know, like you have to have a crystal ball in my opinion. You take the money where it is. You're trading counter trend with stock that is up 11%. You're also looking at something which, this is not one of your typical, okay, you're sitting on a garbage chart and it pops up, it's just going to flush back down. This is a stock which actually showed you higher consolidation, gets a positive catalyst. I just like where it failed. It's, 550 was a previous high. Last time it pushed through, put a lower high off of that, 660, 630, puts in a 560 top, then puts in a 550 today, right? So you follow that pattern. I just like the reversal today in particular, and so played the weak side of it. But you can't hold on thinking you're going to get like a 30, 40, 50% move every single time. Sometimes take what the market gives you.
Yeah, always.
Well, not sometimes. Always take what the market gives you.
Yeah. Well, and sometimes you got to fight the market a little bit. You got to be very, very careful with it. We are taking more money out on Palantir now. It's 05, 06, 07s. That's my, come on, I have an 07 sitting there. Yes, I do, and yes, I can. There it is out at 07. So now we're going to wait to see now how far this wants to go. Really, really happy with this. Base. And now, honestly, my next out now is in the 20s. So now I got to try to hold this thing and see if we can get it back. Someone said there, and I said that, Sean trades Palantir so much you should know the levels off by heart. I do. I'm showing them to you guys just because we do get new viewers popping in all the time. So I definitely recommend, trading stocks that you know, and I want to give a shout out to whomever that was there. I think that was a great point. You need to know the levels, and I should know them, and I do know them. So we're going to wait for Palantir to get back going again. We've already defended that level. I mean, this is why we had these levels parked. I mean, we had all these, look at these levels. We're defending every level that we wanted to all the way down. We let it go through some levels, but we definitely defend that bottom off that 20 period, and now you're just ripping to the high side. So a nice 25-cent win now for this name. So we're really happy with the way it's trading now. More to come, though. NEO, we've gotten out at the bottom. We talked about that. That was a good move. Maybe the bottom was here, 36.70, but now we're breaking above VWAP. Things are starting to get excited now. So we'll wait to see if it wants to move to the upside now. We still have some NEO levels. And again, do we know these levels? Sure, this 50 level has been fantastic. So if this NASDAQ wants to stop, I'm gonna take some more short right now off of this level. So 40s, 41s, we're gonna average into this short, see if it wants to hold, and if it takes out this high, then we're gonna get out of here. Probably wait for this 37.60 on NEO, but that's the level that we like right now on NIO, guys. Waiting to see if it takes it out. What's up, B?
Valeria was talking about this, or not this little financial advisory firm, but here's another one in that same group. ALLY, guys, just popping up at all-time highs for this little tiny one. 48 was all-time highs there. So volume coming in above that 48 on Ally, guys.
Okay, another one breaking out there a little bit. I want to just quickly go over an adjustment. I don't think I mentioned this, and I talked about this before. If it broke down on ears, where my out's going to be. And it's sort of obvious. If it gets past that 505, 510, you can just take that trade off. But it's a different story once it pops in the money for me, right? Once we come down and test that 465 again, we've already taken profit. At this point, I'm only holding on to a third of the, just over a third of the position left, guys. So 35% of the position is still on. I don't want it to turn to loser at all. I'm not even giving it back to VWAP. It's off this low, and if it wasn't for multiple points of conversions, pull back in the afternoon. This is after 4 o'clock. Pull back in the afternoon, pre-market level, current low of the day. Actually looking at trade after the open where the volume has come in. Current low of the day, 465. If you're making a higher low off that, I'm not holding all the way back into turning into a loser. It's a bit of a strong move at this time of day for that to happen. So especially if volume were to come in, I don't want volume to pop on me here and I turn a winner into a loser. I throw my stop back in that 90 range, and then no matter what, I've got a winning trade on for the final third, and I can hold with a little more confidence. If we test 465, I'd be looking a gift horse in the mouth, which is this one, which you don't want to do. That's kind of, wow. Maybe I'll go with the other one next time because that's a little creepy, guys. But I'm going to get bids out in front of that 465. Hold, like I said, 10 to 15% through that, but it cannot turn into losing trade. Do not let your winners turn into losers. Just jumping back over to Tesla. Didn't give that retrace, so it hasn't come back into VWAP just yet. I still like that 705. If we can hold this 695, I still like that 705 for the afternoon. Definitely 1,000,000% falling that profit away for our afternoon show, guys. So do remember, we do come right back. Well, not right back. We do come back to give you somewhat a power hour at 3:15 into 4 o'clock. Like Sean says, it's really, really fast, the fastest 45 minutes on YouTube. But the key there has usually been have an idea of the key levels that you like, and then it's not that you're swinging for home runs, but because of the condensed amount of time we're day trading, you are looking for those really good win-to-loss ratios. If you get one of those flush out markets, you start to pick out some bottoms where you can get 3x, 3-to-1, 4-to-1, 5-to-1 type winners, or find some of these small cap stocks which are continuing off their highs. Nothing just yet that I absolutely like, but there's plenty of time to find some.
Plenty of time to go in the day, plenty of time to go in this move. I'm thinking as well, AMC, we're in this name. So we got out a little bit, we got a little bit more in. We're gonna see if it takes out the bottom of the day. If it does, then we're gonna get out. We're right here now. We're at 862. This is the low of the day. Whether or not you're trading GameStop or AMC, they're both, GameStop, I guess, reversed off that bottom again. I was looking at that, we talked about that 140 break, but it looks like it doesn't do much. AMC and GameStop really just sort of in their own world. Like they seem to be making sense if you look at it technically now. I don't know if we get any of those big, huge home run plays that we're looking for, but hey, you guys are the ones scraping Wall Street bets. So let us know if you do find anything on those names, that's for sure. I'm long AMC right now using it. Oh, no, I'm out. So AMC, I was going to say using this bottom as the out, but it does break, and it looks like, oh, actually, we got out at 60 there. So I don't know, I guess that did break the low of the day. Breaking through 62, down to 60. So we're out of AMC. We tried that one, small hit. Yeah, nothing to cry home about, or to cry over there, write home about, I should say, on that side. Okay, and we didn't get any opportunities. I mean, you know, Palantir's still doing its dance. Maybe we'll take off another thing here at 03. I don't know. It just seems to not do anything. It tried to go. NASDAQ did make a run, and here it comes. Like, look how, this is what I mean. Look how long it takes to break above 23, and then as soon as it wants to hammer it down, it like instantly goes down to 95. Like you don't have any, like look at this. You don't have anything looking, that's why we're out of half at least now. That's why you don't have anything looking like this on the upside right here. This wasn't bad. I don't know what that was, but there's a bit like, I mean, here we go. Just cracking down. Like NASDAQ not even moving. Palantir wants to crack down. So you got to be very, very careful. We talked about getting out of this one. So here we go. Another opportunity to do so. What's up, Beep?
The Dow, guys, off 100 points from day highs. Now Boeing still leading as far as the decliners are concerned. Couldn't get back above 248 there. So we're heading southbound again for BA. Day lows coming, it looks like, guys.
Yeah,
there's at least a part of me that's like, should I have held on to like some of the bigger cap shorts? I mean, Boeing was the one that we had, and it was a good trade. I'm happy with it, but instead, I find myself looking at some of these bottoms. You know what? I almost said bottoms picking. I'm not going to do that. I just said it, of course. DraftKings 58 low at the end of March, right? So you get a bit of a double bottom. You see it push up to 65, 66, and then today, look at the flush. I mean, DraftKings showing that weakness. And if you tried it off of what would have seemed like a good long in front of 60, I probably would have been burned. Now I'm actually getting a consolidation lower. 58.48 is the low. Call it 58.50, and then call it 58, the absolute flush bottom. Look, I'm going to take a shot at DraftKings this time of day, especially with the NASDAQ and the ES just bouncing. You know, it's a small range on both these markets. So to see an outsized move here, down 5% in DraftKings and some consolidation, I like the risk to reward. I'll take my first crack in front of 58.50. When 59 breaks, and then if that breaks to 58, I'll look for 58 even, maybe like 10s, 15s, 25, something along those lines. But first stab will be when it breaks back above 60.
I like the Facebook break as well, possibly. Here, we're watching NEO. We should have got more short at view up. We were waiting just a bit higher, so we've adjusted some of our orders there as well. But Facebook breaking a little bit now as well. Right here, 310.80, this level. We just touched it there. That was a good level. I mean, 311 is really good. But again, talking about some big cap shorts, Facebook could be one of those names, man, breaking back down through 310. Looks pretty enticing to me on that break. So 310. 310 short on FB, man, looks pretty nice, especially if this market is going to fade out. So that's a good break there on the downside for Facebook, 310. I think you can revisit this 309 area there. May not stay there for long, especially if the market does want to keep doing these little dances. But if you do go short 310, you have it pretty defined out at 311. So it's $1 worth of risk. The idea is that do we think we could fall back down to 309? With the NASDAQ being so negative right now today, although, you know, we're back off the highs, I just get a feeling like they could crash a lot lower here on the NASDAQ. So let's watch out for this, 310, 311. If that breaks, again, do we get 308? Maybe. So the risk is there because you have definitely the dollar out on that 310 break, and then you have this VWAP there. That is the break all the way down. You have some consolidation. I think you can get some out. But yeah, well worth the risk reward here on Facebook. It just about if the market breaks. If it breaks higher, I don't know. I mean, Facebook's been beat down. I think there's better names like Apple or Microsoft if the market does break higher. Is Apple? Let's see which one's up or down more today. Okay, so Apple's down more. So okay, so maybe Facebook is the better long as Apple continues to be down. But they're both right here. They're both getting ready, man. Wow, this 131.50 on Apple looks even better, man, because this way you only have the downside of 131. This looks like a pretty sweet break right here, 131.50 on Apple. Kind of glad that I just saw this.
And shout out to Noah, the money strut. That's what we're calling it now. So the ears goes down to that 465. Thank you very much, ears. I got into this trade, and I'll call it like it is. I got lucky that it actually consolidated longer to give me that entry point. You guys sort of heard me trying to talk and then sort of get into the trade at the same time, which doesn't always work out. But either way, we do get the move we're looking for. So this one worked to plan, right? Like when it broke back up above 5, kind of said what the game plan was going to be at that particular time. If it broke to the upside, I probably wasn't going to do anything. And then the second it came back down below 5 even, gave the consolidation area that we liked, gave the targets to the downside. Now I'm going to hang on to it. I have one more bid down here, in front of, at 70 even. If it breaks, if it fills, give me that fill. At that point, I can then hold on to, like I said, just that 10% of the position to see if we can't get a further flush on this particular name. And I still got that clove. I don't think it's necessarily doing anything too crazy. I have not gotten into DraftKings because it did not make the 59 break. Now, it caught a couple of failed breaks on the minute chart here, and then I'm like, okay, well, if it makes another push at it, it's likely to go through. But I need it to break up. I want to take this one on the momentum back to the upside instead of just sitting in front of the low of the day and then letting it break on me when 58 is that key level that we're looking at in the daily chart. So it'll be a break up at 59. That's the trade I'm looking for here. Otherwise, we'll sit patiently waiting for it to come to me.
Yeah, I also saw Tesla near that 700 level as well. Unfortunately, we didn't get any NEO short there, so we still have to wait for that one. We're not in Facebook. We're not in anything. We're just waiting for Palantir to do something as per usual there. That's normally the case for me with PLTR. So we're going to have to wait now to see where this one wants to go to. But there's NEO. We did miss that reload. We're coming back down now, so that, again, I still like this short. NEO's been weak for the last little while. We've identified that over the last week. There was a couple days where we started to get going, but ultimately we always tend to fade it back in. So I do like this short, but it has to get going just a little bit more here on NIO, like through 37.40. I mean, even 37.30 would have been nice. My offer's at 36. We just didn't get any, and then we're going to wait for some 40s. But NEO looks like it wants to continue to go down on this NASDAQ push. Brendo?
Yeah, a bit of a quiet day happening so far. I mentioned this one earlier, guys. Just double checking. Yeah, still nothing in the way of headlines for Yeti. Another day high there, just tagged 84 on a big volume spike. You can see coming in at 84. 6% now for Yeti, all-time highs.
All-time highs. Hey, shout out to the OTCX here as I have. Here we go. Which one do you want to do? We can do this one. I don't know if you can see. Oh, there it is. This is better. Oh, you guys all know Mr. Cheese, but there's Yeti right there. Shout out to Jeff Mendel and the OTCX for hooking that one up. Okay. Yeah, nothing really popping. Let's check back in on Facebook. We're still waiting for NEO to get up. We can see if Facebook wound up running at all. It tested that 310 area. Could have, you could have gone short there. I still think it's a reasonable spot to do so. Maybe better to average in as it just keeps on whipping around a little bit. So let's put some orders, 310.30, 310.40. Now that we're testing this view up and now breaking lower, I think a little spike up to get us short would be prudent. So the spread, just 10 cents. I think we could get a nice little short in here, 310.40, 310.50 or so would be nice. But I'm more about getting longer in Palantir as it seems like it's holding this 86, 87 area. So let's see if we dip one more time in Palantir and we'll take another long and then see if we just keep scalping it upside here around 2305-ish. But I like that level. We wait for NEO. Facebook's not really doing anything. Rocket, AMC, Roku. I mean, what else do you guys want? RKT on NYSE bouncing off 22 a bit, just not moving, only downside. I'm trying to find something. PaySafe, shout out to you, Daryl. It's not moving again. We've talked about these. I think you got to wait for earnings for PSFE, guys. This name just keeps on getting beat down every day. Wait for earnings on PaySafe, formerly BFT.
I did just get into DraftKings, but I want to keep it real for a second. We're going to flush ourselves down the toilet and give you guys a bit of a quick discussion about that Roblox. 75 breakout. You can either catch it on the way up or you can catch it on the way back in if you miss that entry point. And if you don't cross far enough on some of these plays, like if you only try to get long just off of that 75 area, maybe you're not crossing like 25s, you might miss that print. Now, playing a breakout price on the way back in after that kind of a rejection is easily the mistake here. So once that happens, you got to say to yourself, if I'm going to play the dip, I should be waiting for this cluster here at 74. Instead, I play the original breakout plan, which doesn't work, and you can see Roblox is to the upside. So yes, was the long good? Sure. But you've got to be able to separate those trades, and usually do a pretty solid job of that, saying this is the breakout, this is the dip buy. I try to play both I try to play one off the other, which just never seems to work out. And that's why it's not bottom wick, but I call it bottom wick, and it's going to happen to you sometimes. I just want to show you guys the exact nature of the error and why it would happen. It's like turning that breakout trade, which is come and gone, and then trying to make it happen when really you're looking at that dip buy. You should be far more patient. When you're buying dips, patience is a virtue, definitely the name of the game. Bottom picking is sort of the same thing as well in DraftKings. It does finally break that. Look, it does break that 60 here. Sorry, 59. I kept saying 60. 59. So I do get the long at 59.06, doing absolutely nothing. So DraftKings still looking weak, consolidating. I'll give it to the low of the day here. If it breaks that, I'll have to think about that 58 even and then be very, very patient taking a long in front of that. But DraftKings off 5%. The market flat on the session. Let's see if we can't get a bit of a bump. And the small caps to the short side are working out okay, both Clover and Ears, of course.
Yep, yeah, good movement here. We get Palantir bouncing as well, and then now we get a chance, hopefully, for NIO to make a move here. That's still Palantir. No, that's NEO. NEO back. We'll see if we can get these shorts in the 30s, like we keep talking about. So I do like that spot there in the 30s for NEO. Palantir right back up. I just feel silly that we didn't get any long. We just talked about it resisting that. I put the bid there just in time for it to rip up. So there we go. We'll take out another 0405. It's starting to go back upside right now. AMC, I've tried it and missed, but it did tick down to 50 there. So that could have been the bottom there on AMC. So again, you know, if you like the long, you do have that. Now you have like a confirmed size down there at 850. You do have some resistance there. So, you know, ever since that 850 bounce, like 1, 2, this is basically 10 minutes of nothing but hot fire to the upside right there. So that was a nice one. 870 now on AMC. It looks like it wants to go. So good pickup there for anybody that was able to do that on the downside of 850. That was a good look. I'm guessing GMRE. Hey, that's a symbol. What's up, GMRE? I'm guessing GameStop bounced as well. Not so much. There still is this 144 level. That's going to be probably a good breaking spot for GameStop if it wants to go. But again, not good to play breakouts to the upside if you're down 9.5%. So that GameStop trade still in a little bit of trouble. We're still waiting for Coinbase, guys. That's coming on Wednesday. I'm excited for that one.
Yeah, GameStop, just unbelievably dynamic stock when you watch that one move. And I looked at it and was talking about that little bottom. I didn't actually make the trade on GameStop. Kind of wish I had taken a bit of a scalp long instead of DraftKings. Plug Power through low of the day. Test that a couple of times here. Test that 29.70. For anyone that wasn't following along, look, it's not just our watch list that we go through, our free watch list, I should say, that we go through every single day and give a plan of action as to what we're seeing on those particular stocks. But every now and then there's something. Brendan will come with news, stocks that are moving. Plug down 7%. You're going to see that. You're going to see this low at that 30 even. And then I'm going to sort of pull back over here to show you on my 15-minute chart. You had that bottom at that 30. Certainly, I like that little breakdown that we're having here through 30 even. And then 29.70 was the fresh low that it had put in. So once it broke 30, showed that 29.70 was that little bottom it had. I'm like, okay, consolidate. Fresh break here through lunch, not lunchtime yet, but 11 o'clock. So I'll take the low of the day break on Plug. It's under pressure and showing a lot of cracks and weakness. And of course, that 30 level is a big one. It's an obvious place to throw a stop. If it breaks back above, give it like a few extra pennies, of course, if you don't want to get that sort of wicked out on an even dollar break. But I'm going to take that low of the day break here. I was waiting around for this one on Plug. I didn't really like any other trades here on this name, so we finally get into it. I do still want to wait around for Tesla to see what's going to happen on this VWAP bounce. Now, I liked it a heck of a lot better when it was showing me that 92, 93 area. Of course, now we're trending up, so you're going to see this line creep up for you here, which is just natural. It's going to happen to you. That 96 price. Didn't like it as much. It's a little too close to that 700 to 703 that we had some trouble before. So it's really mostly a scalp. But if you can take a 96 breakdown short, if the market was rolling over, you almost got to think about that one, guys. So from one dynamic stock in GameStop to another one in Tesla, yeah, we got to watch out for it. And of course, like we always say, we show you the winners, we show you the losers. We'll show you the mixed bags. BAC was the ultimate mixed bag. Breaks that 40-20, gives you a bit of that long, and then can't make it work off that 40 bounce. It's back above. So once again, not doing a heck of a lot here on BAC, just going back and forth like a tennis match. I feel like we should be waiting around for earnings on this play. So I added Plug, short trade to the low of the day. I added DraftKings long in front of the low of the day there. From there, Sean, I'm probably going to sit back, relax. I won't sip some cognac because it's too early in the day for that.
Is it though? Okay, Apple 131.50 looking to break right now. So that's going to be my next trade that we have on board. I think with the NASDAQ, trying to get going here, if it ever does, we're not going to leave Apple alone. So that's a 50-cent downside risk, well worth it for Apple to hopefully get back going there. So we'll watch that and we'll see. But for right now, looking good on that side. Bitcoin. I don't know if anyone would want to take that bet. I said 70,000 before 55. But right now,
you laying odds on that bet? That's not that's not straight up.
No, I'm giving 10,000 upside for 5,000 downside.
Yeah,
no, 1-to-1 I'd give. So that's fair. I should be getting odds, I think, on this one. But okay, so Bitcoin right now 60,000, not dropping off there. It's trying to hold this. We've talked about that, but I'm very, very surprised. Like we were just discussing there, I thought a break of 60, next stop 65 relatively quickly, and then 70. But right now, it could easily come back here. This is only April 7th. We are down to 55,000. So I'm just disappointed on the way that that's moving right now. You've seen Ripple and Cardano, both those obviously performing well as well. So we'll wait to see on that one. But other than that, so we have that Apple. We could check Facebook. It's trying to go there, I noticed. But it's just like all of these names hovering. Like what's Softy doing? I've ignored, Softy's been the right one. I was gonna say, I've ignored Softy because of that nuance deal today. So we just have two longs, 55 and 55, 55.50, 55 even, and now you're up to 57. So Microsoft leading the way today of these, big cap, mega cap tech names. Very, very surprising that that's happening. Again, just didn't know much about that deal, was not expecting much. And then Alibaba, we pretty much got out at the day's high there off these good longs. This was the best trade for me today. I feel like, Uber, like Neil said, I think that's the #1 stock on the board today for either one of us is Uber. But right now, 242 or so BABA. Could be a breaking spot, but just very, very disappointed in some of the weakness here. The NASDAQ goes green. It's going to be a big show at the close of today. So definitely come back and watch us at 3:15. I think there's a lot of names that can move for us, even including Palantir, Neo, BABA, Softy, Apple. They're all moving around. And then our #1 stock today, mine anyways, Uber, off this. This was such a huge low pick. And we even tweeted that out. Some of these levels that we liked, defending that 58.50 level. What a good long that was. That just rocketed up for us.
So Shakib asking about the Jinko Solar. I want to be on board with this potential. Maybe it gets back to 36 break. This is my 15 minutes. So you guys can just make sure you see where it's come from 45, and then sort of see what happened to end the week there. I tried to short that move, of course, and it didn't work for me. So I'm not necessarily jumping all over this to the south side. You just sort of see the gap down, the retest of the low here. Does it put in a higher low? Okay, fine, but I'd probably only endorse it as a break of this 36.15 area that you have, and of course you have the gap down to that price, right? So it gives you a decent entry point. And then I'd only give it to that 35.50. If you structure it that way, where you're hard stop kind of thing, then fair enough. It's just hard for me to get behind Jinko Solar, and I just looking at some other names here. Gonna go back. If I quickly can. DraftKings is starting to move. There's a small part of me that's I don't know, this market's not doing too much. If for once you actually have the bottom on DraftKings, should I not be taking some more in this consolidation here? I might lean into it a little bit more if it gives me 75s and 80s, or it just feels like a one and done breakout when the risk to return seems pretty solid here. Especially, you don't have to get very far to get to that 60 mark, and then we break back above that. Even like a 50% retracement is fantastic, but this thing back at 61, 62. If you're going to start filing out some names that'll look good, the market not doing much, but it feels weak. If you get that run in the afternoon, you start thinking about what names might lead that charge, and a bounce on DraftKings at the bottom makes a heck of a lot of sense to me. That's one sort of dwelling on a little bit. Plug has done absolutely nothing, I can tell you that, to the south side. Still hanging on the low of the day. I still also have ears for those of you that are following. Remember I said I'm not letting this go past that 90. I've already got that most of that bottom in front of that 465. When it puts in a low off a level like that, I don't want to get burned on the back to the upside. So being very, very careful not to throw that profit away on what has been a bit of a strong stock. I know it's trending downside since the open, but in the back of my mind, I know how strong it's been, and I don't want it to squeeze on me.
Okay, get some, today, right now, we're getting ready to be almost close the show, guys. We'll talk about earnings soon. We'll figure out what day it is, and then we'll talk about coming back at 3:15, which we're going to do. Right now, 50 cents in the money, so celebrating that one. At least we're on some kind of a bear today, and all we've been doing is shorting NEO. So good stock for me on the idea, bad on the execution. My largest position was this average, and then we got busted out through VWAP there before saying, you know what, we had a wrong level. We should have given it to 50. We know that we got to extend out a little bit for NEO. We did go short, rang that through a little bit, took it out. And now I'm just waiting in the 80s here, mid 80s, get this out, and then we'll reinvestigate it. Hopefully we'll see what happens when it goes to the downside there now, coming back through. Like I said, we've made back about 25% or so. Let's get out another piece here. I don't know what I'm doing with this Palantir. I would really wish for this to go. I'm sitting here at 80 to get more long, but right now 2301, 2302. You see, we've just getting it out. Like there's no top side here. So if it runs, we'll take it. But other than that, it will be light now if it runs. We have about a third left of this big position down here. So just keep on getting it out and hoping for the best on that name. Apple, still waiting for you to go. Alibaba waiting for you to go. Apple still. And again, just to check back if you're joining us for the first time now, see not going. I like this break there on Apple, 131.50, but I also don't mind the break lower at 131. Let's check out quickly a 20-minute chart on Apple because I know Apple did have that run last week. So a big, I mean, look at this. You want to talk about a run last week? Like 122 beginning of the week. Ticked all the way up like 130. Maybe this is more than a week, about a week and a half, all the way to 132. So straight up a 10 pack there. And it looks like, I mean, the dropping spot, what is this? Yeah, 130.80. So we're getting very, very close. I don't mind that short. 130.80 on Apple short. So that's going to be a good play to look out for in the afternoon. So 130.80 short on Apple. I like that more than the long, actually. But hey, if the market goes, the long is going to be great. So right now, this 131 is a breaking spot, and then even lower 130.80. I think you take a piece here, you take another piece at 130.80 just to divide her up and split the risk a little bit there on AAPL. 131 break short, 130.80 more.
I like it. It's all about the structure of at this particular time. It's all about the particular structure of the trades. I will point out ACY, sort of the patented way that I like to play the shorts off of reopens, would have worked out about as well as it could have. But that's a stock that I did. The reason I didn't trade it, of course, I talked about the last time the halts and got burned on it. Was being very, very patient in particular with it. So yes, the setup worked. I always check back whether I trade it or not. Does the setup that I like work off the reopen? 100% did. So maybe investigate exactly how it would have played out at 10 o'clock or so. For now, let's go to Brendan.
Hi, here I am. A couple of things coming up this week, guys. It's worth noting if you're just joining us or late in the day, joined us a little bit on in the morning. Bank earnings, first off on Wednesday. We also have Coinbase coming up on Wednesday. Until then, please make sure you write this down and come back and join us this afternoon at 3:15 for the afternoon show. 45 minutes, last hour of the day into the close. We'll tell you everything you need to know. Going into 4 o'clock, so come back 3:15 this afternoon. We will be right here. Guys.
So hungry now. I can already see what National Day it is. And like I don't even love, I'm not going to say it. I don't even love melted cheese, but it's literally making my mouth water at this point because it looks very, very good anyway. So we'll try to get into it. As Brendan mentioned, it's all about looking into, that last hour of the day. Lunchtime, you don't want to overtrade. Sean just showed you his Apple trade that he's looking for. I'm not really looking to add anything. Got the DraftKings, got the plug, got the small caps, but I am still tracking that Boeing. It did hold that 246. Look, it was more just the setup for the short trade that we liked. Of course, my 15 minutes doesn't want to load there, guys. It was more the setup that we liked on that 250 break. We did get the last out at 247 instead of 246. Should have hung on to it. But again, if the market's going to show you some strength, if Boeing can hold out that higher low, there is that potential here in a name that I absolutely like. So I'm going to watch that as well. I already had a bit of a bottom pick on DraftKings. Only need to double down too hard. But yes, you guys want to know what National Day is. Trust me, you do. We got to get to Miss V because we're now getting hungry.
Thank you, Neil. And I really wanted to speak a little bit more on how come you cannot like this. Well, guys, thank you for starting this trading week with us. We will see you at 3:15 p.m. Eastern Time. You can find the link at the live chat and just come back to our channel. We'll be here waiting for you to trade the close together. And happy National Grilled Cheese Sandwich, everyone.
Here's my thing. I'm very, very particular about like the amount that you like, how mushy the cheese is. It's like if you're gonna have melted cheese like at this point and like goes any further, I don't like it. It's a texture thing. I love grilled cheese. Just if I'm not making it, I usually don't love it when someone else does. But that looks pretty good. So pretty happy to see that. It's definitely tasty. We're hungry around here. It is that lunchtime. We're also hungry for trades, guys. So like I said, I've already got a couple on here that are working out. That ears looks like it is going to hold to the downside. And Sean, I know you're looking for that apple. Try to be very, very careful during lunch not to overtrade and only pick out those winners. We will, of course, as always, like we say, I'm always going to remind you guys as many times as I can, we are back at 3:15. Don't forget about it. It's an exciting show. It's all movement. It's all there's money to be made for sure. There's a heck of a lot to learn. It's different from the morning that we do here, but you guys know we're going to try to give you all of our thoughts and all of our positions in real time. And Brendan comes with the news like he always does. So for the entire team, right down the line, for Ms. V, we're trying to get green here. I like the purple, but it's not green. My man Sean Katina. For Brendan Wickens, I'm Neil Roberts. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are in the world. This is Trader TV Live. We'll see you this afternoon. Thanks, J.R. Rom.